Hello and welcome to another stream. Matter, something is off. I'm super loud. Am I? I'm peaking right now. I'm a little bit confused. Why am I so loud? Is my audio quality better? Maybe I'm too close. I don't know. But I hope it's fine. I hope it's okay. Actually, I can turn it down a little bit. Where's my to go XLR? Okay, let's put it. I don't know where. I don't even know where I should put it. Okay, wait, compressor. Let's wait, which one do I even have to edit? Do I have to edit anything? Input. I'm so confused. I hate when those things are happening. But I will check the stream and then I will eventually adjust it when I find the time. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. It's a little bit messed up, and also I was wondering, like you maybe noticed that we didn't switch immediately to the what's the name, to the other screen, and it's because on mobile I saw that it's not detecting my screen that I'm having right now. So I was like, wait, what? Did I do something wrong? Is it a new source or something? But everything was fine, so I got really confused. I was wondering what might be the issue. I was trying things out. I don't know. The vertical thing is always having some smaller issues, but overall I think it's fine. I mean, let me check real quickly the overlay. I'm pretty sure the overlay is looking good now. YouTube, where's my YouTube? Do I have YouTube? Ah, I do have YouTube. Can you believe it? I have YouTube. Okay. Vertical. Now there's something off. Maybe because I changed the UI. Now it's showing more than before. Now I can see almost everything. But before I was only able to see a little bit. So the UI change things, which probably is a good thing because now I have a new overlay. Now I have a new view on things. How it can look if you have only half of the screen unlocked. Well, not half, but you know, half of the limit. Which means probably now it should work for all devices, like older devices, newer devices, fully new devices. I don't know. So yeah, okay. But enough of that. We are here today to react to something. We want to see what happened to Steam. Because something is wrong with Steam. I don't know if you noticed, but things are changing really quick. They had some W's in the recent weeks, actually. But I saw the video that will be the first one that we will check out today from Ampersand, which is named "What Happened to Steam's Mascot?" And this is true. What happened? Like, I haven't seen the mascot around for quite a while. She was super cute. And there was more than one as well, I believe. So I want to figure out what is happening there. And then we also have some other videos that we will check out related to Steam. But overall, I sorted it in kind of order, or at least as far I can judge. In an order where it goes from, okay, this is bad, and then it gets better, and we are getting to Steam wins in the recent weeks. I know some of them already, probably. 1-2 of them. But I don't know the full information. Like, it's like, okay, you saw it on Twitter, and then you went to the next tweet, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, I should probably stop bubbling around and and we can probably get to the reaction. But before we get to it, for the YouTube people, if you want to check out the other videos from the channels that from the videos, the channel of the videos that we are watching today, or if you want to give the video a like, you want to subscribe to the channel, you want to I don't know, share the video with your friends, everything is linked in the YouTube description, both on the normal stream and on the vertical stream. So feel free to check out what's going on there. And yeah, with this being said, we have 5 videos to watch today. The first one is called What Happened to Steam's Mascot, and that's what we're gonna check out now.
Does Steam have a mascot? The answer to that question isn't all that clear. The most common answer now is the Steam delivery.
Yeah, her. I remember her. And she had so many backgrounds. I also bought one of the backgrounds for the opening Steam. And I thought it's when I opened Steam, this animation is gonna play, and then I found out it's only for TV, and I was like, oh, okay. That's unfortunate.
Girl. But the less frequent answer is these anthropomorphic little globs of years
what
past.
The heck?
Even if your answer wasn't them,
wait, what?
Probably
I don't even know them.
recognize them from several.
What? I don't even know them. Who are they? I never saw them before in my life. Did you saw them before? Sorry, I just had to really quickly adjust the tracking, because when I was looking forward, it was looking like I was looking like that, you know, but I was not. So yeah, Counter-Strike 2 and other games are now trade protected. For 7 days after trading, traded items can be equipped and played with in-game, but cannot be modified, consumed, or transferred. Okay.
Parts of the Steam UI, regardless of who you said, the question.
I like this one, and especially the cat. I like orange cats. I like black cats and orange cats. White cats are also cute, but I prefer orange, then black, then white, and then all the other colors. I don't know. I think they are also gray and stuff like that.
Still remains. What
Green.
happened to them? To answer that, we have to properly identify and define the Steam mascots, which means.
Are we gonna find out who the first one was?
Gotta go back.
Okay,
oh, yeah.
we will.
Gotta go way back. Machine.
So who was the?
What we do here is go back.
Okay. Part 1, the Steam mascots. Okay. Oh.
Of Steam's old mascots, there were originally only 3. They were made to brand the community tab and other parts of the early Steam UI. They were also each.
What? Wait, how old is this? Oh, oops! I just accidentally muted this thing.
The community tab and other.
How old is that? This is how Steam look like. I sound like the biggest zoomer right now, but I'm a boomer, trust me. I don't remember any of those overlays. For me, Steam always looked kind of like how it looked like right now. But my Steam account is old. I think I crossed the 10 years today. Maybe I just forgot. Maybe I just forgot about it. Or I never opened the web page. I don't know. Are we on the web page or the application?
Other parts of the early Steam UI.
Damn. But they are really there, the mascots. Damn. Hello. Welcome. Wake off and get out. Damn. Damn. This guy. He's a mood.
They were also each given special names. Sil, Tappet, and Sir Roderick Bodkin. They're all special.
Sir Roger what?
Because they're engine puns.
Cylinder, Tappet, what? Damn. Oh, okay.
You know, Valve,
yeah.
Steam.
Yeah.
They also have their own profiles and group.
What? Sir, I'm not amused with all your pathetic attempts to impress me. Wait, can we add them? I'm gonna try this right now. Steam. Friends. Add. Wait, should I show my Steam on? Maybe I should wait. But I need to log in here. Well, okay, I will just do it really quickly. Let me check. Friends. There are probably thousands with those names by now. Where can I find add a friend? Search. Sil. There are so many people with this name. There's one, but he's having a different profile. Wait, there are 3,000 people. Okay, what about Tappet? This doesn't seem so common. Okay, maybe it is 65, but this is doable. Okay, let me scroll to them real quickly. Can I find that Tappet? Let's go to the next change. Next page. Wait, I got people with different names. I have Levi, Vector. Okay, the next page is not even working. Okay, I cannot find them, but they probably exist.
Eventually, in 2010, they were involved in sales, or more specifically, the artwork and branding that came with sales. It was also then that 3 more mascots were introduced. However, these guys are not nearly as special as the original 3.
Why?
For a few reasons. A, as far as I could find, one of them doesn't even have a name. 2,
what? It's a stone!
of the mascots that do have a name, both of them are not very punny.
High pockets.
And D, the original trio are just used a lot more despite existing alongside these guys. Still,
Okay.
I like them all the same, but I digress.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. He kind of apologized. It's okay. So what is this now? What eats? Midweek Madness. Wait, what is this?
Now, to understand how they were used.
Oh, they are there in the
utilized in
top. Ah, okay.
sales, you have to know the context of flash sales. Originally, when big sales would happen, not everything would be on sale at once. There were deals that persisted throughout the entire sale, but there were also daily deals and flash sales. Daily deals are just games that were on sale that day and would cycle the next. Flash sales were basically the same thing, except that they occurred in much shorter intervals, and the games that were on a flash sale were sometimes at a better deal than they would be on a normal sale. This is relevant because both of these tactics encourage people to come back.
Do you know any of those games? Let's see. What do we know? I know Age of Empires, but that's pretty much it.
Often, so it makes sense that the artwork would be swapped out each day to keep things visually interesting. In some sales, it would just be different art featuring the mascots, but
they are so cute. Look at them.
Other times, they would take advantage of this format and turn it into a serialized form of storytelling, where a story progressed in the background over the course of a sale. So as people came back to check on the deals, they were also seeing the story play out in real time. The most interesting of these
That's super cool.
being the 2011 summer and winter sales. In these sales, each entry not only featured the mascots, but also video game characters always pulled from that day's lineup of deals.
Damn. Wait, and it's all custom drawn as well. Is this League of Legends in the background? Is this League of Legends in the background? I was thinking, someone just told me a few days ago that Dota is way harder than League. And I was like, dude, I already tried this game out and it's not harder than League. But recently, League has been declining, in my own opinion, and I'm not that biased anymore. So I've been thinking, should we do a Dota stream? I played it a really long time ago, like 9 years ago, the last time, something like that. I still have some items, but I don't know if they are still working in the game. But I don't know. Do you think we should do that?
Both the writing and the artwork has aged perfectly over time, and I personally recommend.
Wait, I know the guy in the middle. And the left is Plants and Zombies, and then we have League of Legends. Or is it Dota?
Reading them in your own time. They're short and they're very fun.
Okay. That's super cool. I love when people put a lot of love in the products that they design. It shows that you are taking care of it, you know?
First, the 2011 Steam Summer Sale letters
I
are
love
written
the
by Sir
BGM.
Roderick Bodkin. They detail the mascot's stay at Steam Summer Camp. Along with the letters are postcards that detail their camp activities. Once again, it's a fun read and there's cool art to look at, but more importantly for this video, it gives us valuable characterization
Bad swimmer, cook, zombie.
for the mascots. There's a lot of great stuff.
Does it say
For this video, it gives us valuable
Uma?
characterization for the mascots.
What the frick?
There's a lot of great stuff in here. For example, in day 8, we find out that Tappet is a gooner, and in day
Why? What did he do? Wait, what did he do? Tappet took one What? Took one look at them and immediately almost drawn 17 times. Whoa. You need to calm down, my dude. You need to calm down.
9. In day 9, we find out that Syl has a gambling problem, and back in day 7, he might have died. It's all
Damn! What the hell? What is going on with them?
all great fun, and the only source I have on the other 2 mascot names. Dash's name shows up on day 12, and High Pockets gets hers on day 8.
Yeah, but he's also there. He also needs to be taken care of, apparently.
Once again, I could not find the last mascot's name.
He's
they
a
do
storm
appear in
or
day
something.
9 with an altered design, but
Is he a crab?
their name is never mentioned. The
Okay.
2011 winter sale had a similar format, just not all the
So he
letters
is
were
a
from the
crab.
mascots. They're fun as well, but they just
Maybe they want to make him mysterious.
don't provide any new information. From then on, no other sale really matched the scale of 2011 when it comes to the
2011? 11? That's 14 years ago. Almost 15. What? I wasn't even alive. I'm joking.
the involvement of the mascots. Of course, whenever a big sale did happen, they were always at the store page, most of these following the previously mentioned format of serialized storytelling over the course of the sale. The last time they had major involvement in a sale was in winter of 2013, where several emoticons, backgrounds,
Oh.
badges,
Oh, they look so cute. Oh my god, you can immediately see the vibe of the time. This effect on the border, how is it called again? In Photoshop, there's this effect, which is exact this one, where you have on the sides, like it's making it look a little bit more round. And I remember back then, when you had a flat graphic, I was like, this doesn't look more modern. So you just put this effect on it in Photoshop, and then everyone was like, whoa, this looks so cool. Oh my goodness.
and trading cards were made of them, all referencing different games. From here, they're involved.
Well, at least that's how I remember the era. The era back then. Everyone wanted those weird effects on the models.
Involvement in sales.
I know because I was involved as well. I was voluntarily helping at some places with designs at that point, and every time they were like, "Oh, this is too flat. Can you do some magic?" I put one effect on it, this one effect, and then they were like, "Whoa, this looks so much better." I'm like, dude, this took me 2 seconds.
Tapered off completely. There were a few exceptions to this, but those were far and few between. But
Hi. Oh, okay.
they were still used in Steam's interface.
Redeems a Steam wallet. Yeah, okay. I think I slightly remember them. Slightly. Are they still there? No, I don't think they are. Are they still there?
And even though a lot of pages have updated from the old UI and taken the mascots with them, there are still a ton of places on Steam
Okay, I did see them, yeah. In the what's the name? The where you do like questions for games.
you can spot their continued use. And whether that be from redeeming a gift card, leaving the site, or
Oh yeah! True, he's there. He is there. Yeah, this is true.
failing a trade, these guys are still there. And while the use of these mascots has definitely been limited, they have not been forgotten. Steam has made several tongue-in-cheek references towards the discontinued use of its mascots. In 2019, they were referred to as old friends and were even
Hello Winter. Hello old friend. Wait, who is Mario Carroll? Who the heck is Carroll? Get out of here, Carroll.
in a group chat for a very small period of time.
What? Coconut sales? What the frick?
In 2022, they appeared as gravestone stickers. Even though it's been a few years, I still don't think that they've forgotten about these old mascots. There's really not that much more to say. While I do like these guys, I'm okay with them being discontinued.
What? Why? They're cute. They're cute. What do you mean I'm fine with them discontinued? Dude. No. We need more of them. I want them to come back. There's need to be more present.
They serve their purpose for a different time. A time
They are fine. I welcome them. They can be on my Steam page any day. Hello Candy, how are you doing today?
Steam maybe did need mascots.
We did. I like them. Look at them. They are super cute. I want them more on Steam, not less.
They serve their purpose for a different time. A time where Steam maybe did need mascots. But that's the story on Steam's one and only set of mascots. The mascots that were the
Wait, what's with the...
only ones to have ever appeared in a sale.
What is this?
A masked... What is that?
Yeah, what is that? Part 2. Steam emoticons. Oh god. I'm doing good. Last night I played Fall Guys with friends. How about you? I'm doing fine. Overall, I'm fine. Yeah. Right now we are just... I don't know. There's a lot of things planned. I cannot talk so much about everything. So... I'm busy. Most of the time. But right now we are having fun. Right now we are streaming. We can check out Steam mascots. And tomorrow I go to the Christmas market. Yeah. Oh, banger. But I hate those emotes. Seriously, I hate them so much. Oh, eyes. Wait, does everyone hate them? Oh my god. Oh.
Now I know what you're not thinking. These guys are emoticons, not mascots.
Well, if you use them everywhere, then it's kind of the same, no?
And you're right, except that I've decided that you're not right, because these guys do share a lot more qualities with mascots than you might initially think. They date back to 2015, being a part of a generic emoticon set of...
Yeah, I'm not a fan of them. I'm really not a fan of them, especially this one. I don't know when it was, but there was a person who used this specific one a lot. And it got on my nerves every single time I saw it. I cannot see this one anymore.
Available to all Steam users. At first they were in a pixelated style, while also having an alternative hand-drawn style if sent individually.
Oh no. Get it out of here.
New art style. They were updated again in December of that year, barely, and they...
Wait, what? How much is the change?
Art style. They were updated again in December of that year.
Oh. Okay. Before and after. Wait, the one on the left got not updated at all, did he? No. Okay. They were made more... less aggressive. Is this the right word? That yellow one is me without my brain. Damn.
And they have not been touched since then. So why were they redesigned? And how are these guys mascots? The redesigns all occurred during...
Yeah. Wait, they were there. I remember them slightly now. Now that I see those pictures. I saw them in sales.
The 2020 summer sale. This sale saw the introduction of the Steam
Shop
and
there we go.
stickers you could claim for free over the duration of the sale. Many of these were based
I remember the one with the sunglasses especially.
Directly off of the old Steam emoticons, with many new ones in that same vein. What's important to note is that the artist who made the stickers did...
I think I even have one of them. Wait. Do I have someone online? Stella. Let's open Stella chat. Message. Wait, what? It's not working. Oh, it opened. Wait, which one do I have? I think I have some of them. Like not the default ones. Or do I? The debut collection. Yeah. I have one. Steam Dance. I have Steam Dance. It's like a a pink blob that is dancing. But besides for that, I don't have anyone. I don't even know where I got this one.
Not make the emoticons, and that the emoticons are based off the animated stickers. That's where these emoticons come from. They're not
there.
A part of the...
This one. I have that one. The bottom right.
default set, but they are in the same style. Now, something funny to note. When these emoticons first dropped, people hated them, especially Steam Happy, which is a far cry to the current perception of it.
Damn,
you saw the
calm
edit.
down, lol. What did he say?
Steam Happy, which is a far
What did he
cry to
say?
the current perception of it.
Call Arts Danger Hair Strike again. Wait, what?
I mean, you saw the edit like a minute ago. It really shows that we are stupid monkeys that hate change, you know?
Yeah. Oh,
Anyways,
damn.
they were used like mascots in that same sale. That entire sale was themed like a road trip. Every 4 days, the artwork was changed out on the storefront to reflect a new location. And many of the trading cards during the sale were postcards. That
Okay.
sounds pretty familiar, right? However, afterwards, they were
It
never
does
used
sound
again in
familiar.
any subsequent
Now that he
sales.
mentioned it, it's like I just heard it 5 minutes ago.
But they still kind of are the mascots of the Steam Point Shop. Barely.
Okay.
Lastly, they appear on error pages.
Ah,
More specifically,
yeah,
3
okay.
of them do. Now this one's fun. A lot of people got familiar with these guys during
September. Wait, what happened on September 4th?
known as Silksong Day. Millions of
Silksong
players
Day.
flocking to a single store page. When Steam
Okay.
crashed, people saw these dudes non-stop.
The leg
And what's
gang.
funny is some people misremembered and confused these guys for the actual Steam mascots.
No, I want the original ones back. I want the original ones back, especially the orange one. He's cute.
This is what I mean by they share mascot qualities, but they aren't mascots. They've only ever been in one sale and haven't been in much outside of it. They
Okay.
simply are not used enough. But what I say doesn't matter, because there's a Steam startup intro where they are referred to directly as mascots. So that
Damn.
really makes me wonder whether or not...
Hey, what happened to the other
could
ones
that be?
then?
Oh,
Oh yeah, what's about her?
how could I forget?
Every day I imagine a future where I can be with you.
Of all of Steam's
Yeah,
mascots,
banger.
it should be no surprise when I say the most
The Steam girl was so popular as well. I saw her everywhere. I bought I was also in it, obviously. I already said that I bought one of them. So I'm part of the problem. But like 90% of my friend list bought it as well, or had a profile picture or something.
popular one
That's
by
crazy.
far has been the delivery girl. Not a single one of
Yeah.
the mascots of years past has managed to reach the same amount of popularity as she has. She has amassed dozens of pieces of fan art, cosplays,
Damn.
hundreds of thousands of
Damn.
likes on Twitter, hundreds of thousands of likes on TikTok, tens of thousands of upvotes on Reddit. She has some of the most
Crazy.
popular items in the Steam Point Shop, her own startup movie. When I
Yeah, I got this one. I'm so mad that I can only use it on TV. I don't even, oh, actually I do have a TV, but I never use it.
I made this video, I had to choose between 2 different thumbnails. To say that people just
Okay.
like her is an understatement. People love her. But why?
She's
Why
cute.
of all the Steam mascots is she the most popular?
She's cute. It's a cat girl. What do you mean?
She's cute.
Yeah, exactly.
Better question, if people liked her so much, then why did they stop using her? The answer comes down to how Steam does their seasonal banners now. For the last
Okay.
few years, Valve has sought out and hired guest artists to draw the seasonal sale banners, and it's implied that for the most part the artist has a lot of creative control. I say that because the Steam Delivery Girl was not Valve's idea. Instead,
Okay.
she was created by Nemupan, the artist.
Wait, this looks just like her. Oh, so they don't own the full rights to it. It was supposed to be only for the purpose of the Steam sale, right?
Saying that she was meant to represent that fuzzy feeling of joy, of receiving and giving. Aww. I think there are 2 reasons as to why her departure was such a shock to so many people. The first one obviously being her popularity. She
Yeah.
was incredibly popular, it just doesn't make sense for her to disappear completely. And 2, Valve had only been doing this artist rotation system for the past year. This wasn't a set-in-stone pattern people were used to, so the following year she wasn't there, it felt like she had disappeared, when in reality that is just how Valve is doing Steam's seasonal art now.
Will she come back? That's the most important question.
So I guess that leads into the main question of, will she ever come back?
Yeah, okay, maybe I should just shut my mouth.
Probably not. Okay, wait, I
What?
can't say that for sure. Maybe Valve will do a 180 and use her again.
Hopefully.
but currently the only way I see
Bring back the Steam delivery girl.
her
Damn.
coming back is if one of the new seasonal sale artists chooses to include her. Otherwise, I think that's all she wrote. Or I guess in this case, drew. So
Okay.
that's what happened to the Steam mascots.
Damn.
They never forgot about
I want all of them back, except them. We can delete those people. We can delete those. I want them back, and I want her back.
them, they just stopped using them. I want to get real for a second. Over the past 2 months, I have dedicated hours of research into finding out more about Steam's mascots and where they come from. I have sifted through countless pages of incredibly slow internet archive snapshots. I still love you. Countless imager links, countless Reddit posts, you name it, I saw it. But despite the vast differences in each of these posts, one thing always rang true for each and every one of them. It didn't matter if it was the original Steam mascots, the emoticons, or the delivery girl. One thing always rang true. It was the familiarity. People like familiar faces. This is the entire point of mascots in real life. People
What the heck is going on in this video?
like seeing something they recognize, and that leads perfectly into my main point. Does Steam have a mascot? No.
No?
They don't. But it'd be kind of cool if they did.
What? I want those people back. And the delivery girl. That's cute. Vanilla. Vanilla? Florencia Namura. Wait. Cheers. What? Is it Italian? I don't know. I like the original ones. They're cute. What is this?
What?
What just happened? What was this ending? What was this ending? What? Clicking on YouTube Guna ads. Should I react to this one next week? So I can speak about my job again? No, it's fine. Okay.
I got bribed.
The next video for today is probably a little bit darker. It's from CoffeeZilla. Some of you probably know him. And he will talk about deception, lies, and wolf. So I don't know what this is about. My guess though would be that it's about Counter-Strike primarily, because they had a lot of gambling going on. And that's kind of what, that's kind of what he's usually researching. So, well, at least from what I know, I don't actively watch him. So yeah, let's see what's going on. What's going on at Wolf? What did they do? What did they do? How bad is it is the question. How bad?
I got bribed to make a video exposing a single Counter-Strike casino.
What did I say? It is Counter-Strike.
But I decided to expose the whole industry instead, which led us from pitchforks to people rushing stages, millionaires making excuses, and esports teams who say they can't survive without gambling. The lack of any accountability making me wonder about...
Yeah, I really hate that. Yeah, no, it was Riot Games. It was Riot Games, not League of Legends only, right? That Riot Games made the decision that they accept gambling people now in gambling ads in the tournament.
The biggest casino of them all, Valve, the owner of Counter-Strike. Now, if you've watched the last few episodes, you know there's a lot of opinions about what the problem is. Who's the villain? Who's the good guy? Hardly anyone agrees on anything.
Okay.
I did find one thing that nearly everyone agrees on.
I started gambling on Counter-Strike when I was probably 13 years old.
Damn.
I think it was 14.
Valve definitely does have underage
I like this guy. He got HyperX headphones.
gambling problem.
I think Valve does have an underage gambling problem.
Damn, HyperX again.
Yes, it is underage
This is not HyperX.
gambling a disguise because it holds real life value.
Underage, middle age, overage, however you want to slice it.
What?
When I was young, that's the most easily.
What is
influential
overage?
Age to get
You
people
are
in,
above
'cause I can't
100
go to a
years
real
old?
casino and gamble.
Like what I did back then was I went to our local video game store, bought like $20 worth of Steam credits, I would buy skins with those $20 credits, no verification at all.
Right. This is the most consistent answer I've received in a story where no one agrees on anything. Underage gambling is rampant on Counter-Strike. Not only that, Valve has known this was a problem
since that's almost 10 years ago.
For at least 8 years. And for those 8 years, Valve...
Wait, from when is this video? Oh, okay.
Valve has done things here and there.
It's a little bit older. It's fine.
Tackled offshore gambling issues, with some speculating the reasons
it's from
why.
11 months ago.
I think they have all the responsibility. I mean, you could pass me some of that if you want, but ultimately they're the kingpin, reaping in all of the money, or majority of the money, and there's a reason why they haven't killed it yet. They've possessed the power for all these years, but they allow it to go, and I feel like they do the bare minimum crackdown to allow it to keep operating.
That's right. Now, the person you just heard has ulterior motives for putting the blame on someone else. Either way, today I want to investigate Valve's role in Counter-Strike gambling.
What's going
How
on
we
there?
got here.
I wonder if they fixed those things by now, but probably not. Is there a comment on this video? Nah. Wait, let me check. Okay, let's watch the video and then we will check out the newest comments.
What Valve can do about it and how they've been fighting the change
To
that
see
is
if
so
anything
desperately
changed.
needed. So let's start from 2013, when loot boxes were first introduced to the game in an update Valve called the Arms Deal.
Yeah, I'm quite splitted on the opinion of loot boxes, to be honest. It always depends what the loot box is giving you. If it's a cosmetic, to be honest, I don't really see it as that problematic, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, it's cosmetics. Like, you can play without it as well. It will not give you any advantage. It will not give you anything. Just a new look. So, I think usually loot boxes for cosmetics are fine. But it also got a limit. It depends on how much you pay, I would say. Like, if you sell a loot box for €2 or something, I would already be like, I don't know if I wanna spend that money. I say this fully in know that our Minecraft server that is upcoming is also gonna have loot boxes, which are above that price. But yeah, it's a Minecraft server, and it's for cosmetics as well. Well, mostly cosmetics. I'm still have to figure out a system that is fair for everyone. I don't wanna support those gambling things, to be honest. So I want to think of a system that people can still do loot boxes or not. Like, I was thinking of something like having a mode, like in the settings, player settings, you can enable like a mode where you disable the randomness and you just buy the item directly for a fixed price, you know. But I don't know if this is a good idea. Like, you just have a switch then, and then if you don't want to have this, if you don't want it to be dependent on luck, then you can just get it like that. Does it make sense? I don't know.
It was first described as all the illicit thrills of black market weapons trafficking without any of the danger, which is kind of true. They did create a black market of skin betting. The only thing that I find false here is the quote, without any of the danger, because if you look at the wrong casino, this guy might show up at your house. Either way, the Arms Deal update was the start of Counter-Strike.
What the heck? Yeah, I mean, Steam is also a little bit different because people actually offer you money for the skins. I think this is one of the big differences between the Steam marketplace or CSGO gambling or loot boxes and like any other game, you know. People might trade it with you. They might trade it, but they will not give you money for it. Like, they will not be like, I will not give you $100 for this item. Why should I do that? I can just buy, I don't know, 50 keys myself. And then maybe get the item myself. You know? Like, but on Steam, you have knives that are like hundreds of euros. It's crazy.
Straight gambling
or
as
dollars
we know it,
or whatever.
with the introduction specifically of loot boxes. We're going to open one.
Yeah, as mentioned, I'm not convinced they are that bad.
Here so you can experience what
But
that's
this
like.
is just my
First, you
personal
take out your
view.
wallet.
I am open to debate. If anyone is in the comments or in the stream right now and has a different opinion, feel free to let me know what you think.
Pay $2.50. The case opens and a wheel spins where items of varying rarity pass by. Knives and gloves are particularly valuable because they're particularly rare, but usually you get an item worth pennies. Now you might notice this whole process, especially
I don't
the
know how
near
much my items are worth. Should I check? I often get bot requests because they want my chest or stuff like this. Let me check. Inventory. Counter-Strike. I have 36 items at the moment. I already sold sometimes because sometimes I was like, oh, I'm 20 cents away with my Steam balance. I will just sell this item real quick. Let's see. Can I see the what is my craziest item? Maybe this one? 4 euro. A Negav skin. Then I have a Gamma chest, which is 6 euro apparently. I have a Bison skin with some kills on it. It's 3 euro. I think this is the... No. But wait, my chest is the most expensive thing. I also have a Star Trek AVP. But it's $6 as well. But the chest is in the cent value. It's a little bit higher. So yeah, my best item is like $6 right now in Counter-Strike. I wonder how it's in Dota. I was thinking about selling those as well. 4 cents, okay, 4 cents, 9 cents. Okay, I don't think my items are worth that much in Dota. Okay, 3 cents. Okay, never mind.
This resembles a slot machine. I believe that's not an accident. This is the same company that hired experimental psychologists to design parts of their games.
So my name is Mike Amander. I'm an experimental psychologist at Valve.
Hello, Mike.
Applying knowledge and methodologies from psychology to game design. So thinking about how knowledge of human behavior can impact the choices that we're making.
Okay.
The hope is that we can take what we know about psychology.
Wait. Doesn't that mean that he's intentionally designing things that make someone buy more or stay longer on the page?
About the predictable ways humans might react or respond, I'm going to apply it to game design and induce various responses or particular responses.
Okay.
Right. Valve is a game studio that uses psychology to manipulate user behavior, and it's harmless in some areas when optimizing for fun or excitement. But when we look at loot boxes, what is Valve optimizing for? What behaviors are they trying to cause when they make their loot boxes look like a slot? And the answer, I believe, is they want you to just spend more money. And making a slot simulator has been incredibly effective for that. In total, some estimates are that 1.9 billion cases have been sold. At $2.50 per case, that's 4.9 billion for Valve.
Damn.
All spent on video game cosmetics. You can then trade these on the Steam store.
Maybe I should sell all of my CSGO items actually. That way people don't send me friend invite just to get my items. Maybe I should sell all of them. I'm thinking right now about it. Like if I sell everything, like most of my things are worth like $1 at least. Like the average seems to be around like 2-3 euros. So if I sell all 30 of them, I actually have... Wait, I have like $90. Well, not really. Probably more like 60, but it's still a good amount. I could buy a new Steam game with that. I'm just saying. Okay, I will think about it. I'm gonna think about it.
Even more
I have
money
to check the Steam market.
Last year alone, Counter-Strike made about $1 billion.
Like it's a win-win. I don't play the game anyway, so I can just sell those things because I don't give a damn about the game, you know. I won't touch it anymore. And at the same time, those Steam bots will stop sending me Steam requests. It's technically it's not that bad of a decision. I might check it out. Or I think on Steam sites you can trade in your items to gamble. Do you think nah, this is stupid. Then I get nothing out of it.
Opening cases.
The skins update was a big change for the community, giving you something you can buy, something that you can customize your guns.
It's done where it doesn't necessarily impact.
Wait, I think, is this Leia? I think I know this person.
Gameplay,
Where's the name?
but it gives people this exciting element to keep coming back and keep.
Did she change? If I'm not wrong, I remember her from Riot. But this is not Riot right now, right?
Playing to get more skins.
So you might be surprised to learn that although Valve designed a machine that looks like gambling, Valve actually insists that it's not. This is because of a loophole where technically Valve doesn't let you cash out your skins. You can sell them for money for your Steam wallet.
Yeah, but you can buy games. What do you mean?
But you can't convert that Steam wallet for cash.
You can buy games.
So the skins are technically worth nothing in the real world. They're just worth something in Steam's marketplace, meaning their slot machine of skins isn't gambling at all, or that's what they would say. The expected value is actually 0. And all that sounds great, except for the fact that obviously you can go to these third-party sites and get real money, real crypto. You can also go sell them on trading websites, which is also a huge part of this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. But then you will just... Wait, do you get more there than you get in the Steam market? This would be so stupid.
This economy where you can go sell your skins for cash. You never have to interface.
Okay, that's the clue. Okay.
With the slot machine
It's for
side
cash.
of it. So this idea that skins are
I don't need cash right now.
aren't worth money is just not true. It's just that Valve isn't directly allowing cash outs, which is a loophole that allows people of all ages to open loot boxes, trade skins for money.
I think I saw something similar in Roblox, no?
All without showing ID. It's worth...
at some point I watched a video and they had a similar story about Roblox. But yeah, I cannot speak so much about it because I played Roblox like one time in my life. And this was on my laptop. And I was like, I didn't have anything from gaming. And I was like, okay, what can I play? What game can I play? Minecraft is not working. What else is there? Roblox. And then I played some One Piece game for like a few hours. And then I uninstalled the game again.
Saying this loophole isn't new.
Yeah, Roblox, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like as well that use characters looking so blocky. It's weird. I don't know.
It's the same thing pachinko parlors use in Japan because there, gambling is illegal. But pachinko parlor...
Wait, it's legal to play the lottery and also bet on horse racing, bicycle racing, motorcycle racing, and powerboat racing. All other forms of gambling are illegal under Article 100 and... What? Really? Does it also include loot boxes?
Are gambling, but technically not, because when you gamble, instead of winning cash, you win these small silver balls, which once again you can't cash out in the parlor. You have
yeah, okay.
to go to a third-party vendor.
It's because you are not allowed to cash out at the pachinko parlor. Yeah.
それはなんで別にあるんですか？
そこでお金のやり取りしたら犯罪なんで、犯罪ってかギャンブルになっちゃうんで、景品をもらうって体で景品をもらってそれを近くの換金所でお金に変えてる。
Damn. Okay.
からセーフっていう
So
認識です。
that's how they do it. But it's really bad, no? If everyone knows about it, then it's... Can you still get arrested for it if you get caught? Or can you say, yeah, no, I just bought this for Suisei, a teddy bear.
網目をくぐってるみたい。
グレーって言ってました。
All reminiscent of exactly what Valve does too. You can't cash it out in the Steam store. You can only cash it out on third-party sites. It's just gambling with extra steps. However, one player of the game explained to me that even this is a pretty weak excuse.
Has anyone explained to you the Steam decks? So this right here, it's the maxed out version. I think it's like 650 spent in Steam funds.
Wait, what? You can buy Valve hardware with your Steam wallet? So if you get a CSGO knife, you can just get the new VR headset from Valve. That's crazy.
Now, how do you get Steam funds? You can put money on, you can sell stuff on the store, you can unbox a case, get a $1,000 knife, sell it, and then get this. So items don't have value. How do I buy this?
Damn.
I think it's pointless to argue too long against these loopholes, though, because there's millions of arguments, some used by Valve, other used by Counter-Strike casinos, for why gambling isn't gambling. You have Clash's sweepstakes loophole, hype drops, you never lose money loophole.
Yeah. And this just makes me think if I should fully avoid those kind of things on my Minecraft server. But then on the other end, I don't know what else to put there.
With CSGO roll saying you can only cash out skins. Everyone in this story, from casinos to Valve, is using legal loopholes. So instead of trying to legal eagle all of them, I'm just appealing to your common sense. If it looks like gambling, mimics gambling, and the players say it's gambling, it's gambling. Now that we understand this, let's take a look at one of Valve's strangest positions they've ever had to take. See, back in 2016, when gambling sites hit
4,000? What the frick? People would pay that much for a freaking knife? This is insane.
Mainstream news for scamming a bunch of their users and underage gambling, Valve looked really bad and said they were going to put a stop to Steam users who run a gambling business. To do this, they sent out several cease and desist letters, and some of those sites ceased, but others didn't. 8 years later, some of the same casino sites are still operating. Meanwhile, influencers are clearly still getting paid millions of dollars. Esports teams are still sponsored by many of these gambling businesses that Valve supposedly wants to shut down.
Yeah.
This is where we come to a question. Why does Valve say they want to shut down gambling, but they fail to actually do it? Some will say they can't. Like,
maybe it takes too long? I don't know. I mean, usually during a lawsuit, as far as I'm aware, if you are being sued for something, you don't get a order from the court to stop the action immediately. You are still allowed to operate the same kind of business until the case is fully closed and, you know, the other side wins, of course. Which means if you can drag a case out for 2 years, you are still able to operate for 2 years before you have to close down the business, which is crazy.
Like, these offshore casinos are literally impossible to.
But 10 years is also,
stop,
I mean, it's
I don't buy that.
a lot.
This is the same company who will happily destroy parents in court who sue them for pushing gambling. Where's Valve's legal appetite to go after these offshore casinos? I don't know. It seems to me they could have banned this all a long time ago using any number of IP arguments, legal attacks, or simply software patches. Why they haven't is where we have to get into speculation. I have two thoughts as to why. First,
I mean, there's another loophole, no? Because they use the Steam library icons, for example, to showcase the items on the site, I think. So legally, it's fair use, no? Because you are using the application. It's like when you use YouTube on your web page, you know, when you see a YouTube video on another page, like YouTube cannot sue them for using a YouTube video on their page because it's like an embed. It's like it's leading back to YouTube, you know. It's implemented in the site, and they don't claim that they made this platform. Is this maybe an issue? But then again, I'm not a lawyer, and so, you know, you shouldn't trust me so much. But but I just speak from what I kind of know of fair use and those kind of things.
Personally, I believe it's good for Valve to be in an eternal fight against gambling. It's good optics. If you never defeat the evil offshore casinos, no one has to wonder why your loot boxes look so much like slot machines. We gotta defeat the evil offshore casino guys first, guys. In fact, this is the exact attitude they had in 2016.
It feels like Valve itself has specifically designed this game to operate almost exactly like a slot machine.
Even back then, Valve got a lot of heat for exactly the same things we're talking about now, but everyone felt that the casinos were doing worse things. So before we demanded...
Yeah, because in a casino... I think the difference comes because in a casino, there's no other thing you do. You just go in there, you press a button, and you spend your money. And eventually you go out with some money. You know? Eventually. So that's the sole purpose of a casino. Wait, let me shut off my heater. Did I shut it off? Oh god, wait, shut the matter. I need to check. Okay, it's shutting off now. So where was I? Yeah, so in a casino, the sole purpose of a casino is to spend money, you know. You go there, you press some buttons, and eventually you get money out of it. Why in Counter-Strike, it's not the main focus of the game. The main focus is that since it's a shooter game, you shoot other people, you know, you go in the round, you play ranked. This is the main purpose. The main purpose is not to gamble. People are there to play competitively against each other, not to get skins, you know. So I think that's the difference. Like, that's probably why people don't see it that bad also in gacha games. In gacha games, I think it's more... I mean, it's gacha game because, you know, it's kind of one of the main features. But still you are playing the game. You are having a story, even if it's not a good one. And eventually you have some nice looking anime girls with cat ears or something, you know. So people don't hate on it that much because you can do other things. But in a casino, you don't have anything. If you get a casino where you can also do other things, like you combine it with an arcade or something, people will probably visit it more often as well and be like, oh, this place is not that bad. Look, you can play, I don't know, Pac-Man or something.
To change from Valve, everyone felt that we should address the casino problem first. And Valve was happy to play the hero and send those cease and desist letters out.
Okay.
So if you can always pass the buck to someone more shady than you and say you're working on it, it's easy to avoid problems at home.
Maybe they didn't follow up on the letters. Maybe, you know, some of them are closing just like that, and then the others are like, no, we don't want to, and then they didn't follow up on legal action, like further legal actions.
That's my first guess, but
that was
there's a second, maybe more insidious answer. Shutting down offshore gambling is just not a priority because it's not very profitable. It may even cost Valve money, even though they probably would deny this and say they don't have the data. You see, Valve may profit from these casinos indirectly. That is according to the journalist.
Yeah, because people are using it all the time.
People makes games. They made this argument better than I ever could, and I'm going to use a portion of their great documentary here.
Okay. We've got Steam over here and the betting sites over here on different websites, and both industries claim no relationship with the other. But to start with, the culture of skin betting is for many people a feature of Valve's games as advertised by YouTubers and streamers and virally by your friends who are gambling. Valve is going to be acquiring more visibility and players for its games from anyone who finds this extra functionality appealing. A thought I heard from almost all of the gamblers I spoke to was that Valve can't shut down these casinos permanently because that would wreck the market value of skins, thereby hurting every...
Wait, didn't the market crash? Wait, let's see. How much is it here? The highest one is like 10k. I want 10k, the highest one. It's the purple knife on the top. What is this? This is CS money. Let's check out the site. Because I'm pretty sure the market crashed. Wait, what's the name again? CS money. Let's see. Can I see without logging in? We have a pop-up. And it's in German, of course. Markets. What the freak? Do you see this? Wait, let me put this in USD so it's, you know, conversion rate and so on. Do you see this? It's for, this must be a prank. This must be a prank. Why is this weapon here? But it didn't really crash. Wait, this is the, but what are we sorting? Wait, let me put it in English. Any, is it the same sorting that they have? Default sorting, price max. Are we going by this here? What the hell? What the hell? What the frick is even this? 600 someone drank too much on this night. Or are they money laundering? What? The heck? Okay, they don't want me to look apparently. Are the people money laundering here? Are they putting things on the market for like an insane price and then someone else is buying it and then you can write it in the tax thing? Because you are like, oh, I want it on a gambling site. The money. Is this money laundering going on? No, but they need clean money to buy it, no? Unless they give it to them privately. Okay, maybe something fishy is going on. But I don't know. Something crazy is happening. I don't know. You know, you made $80,000 and you don't know how to justify it. And then you burn it. I don't know. I don't know how money laundering works, to be honest, but that's how I imagine it.
All of the gamblers
Crazy.
I spoke to was that Valve can't shut down these casinos permanently because that
Absolutely
would wreck
crazy.
the market value of skins, thereby hurting every player who owns any Valve skins. But to me, that just sounds like evidence that one big reason Valve skins are so valuable and why people want them so bad is Valve allowing the betting sites to exist.
Look, I'll be honest, I think he's right. Valve is indirectly profiting from these casinos. But it's not just one journalist's opinion.
But why would you put it on the
experts
side?
have-
Because, okay, you get cash. This one I would understand. But if you are just gambling, it makes no sense because you will lose. Like, and you don't get more money out of it. They are probably taking commission as well, you know?
Concluded the same thing.
So, in January of 2016, the Washington State Gambling Commission, and that's the top regulatory body in Washington State where Valve is headquartered, they received a complaint that prompted them to begin an investigation into Valve Corporation. 21 months later, when that investigation concluded, what they said was Valve, quote, knowingly facilitates the illegal wagering of skins.
Damn.
And the question that it really came down to for these regulators was, is Valve benefiting? In the opinion of the regulators, yes.
So this feels like a really big deal. Washington basically concluded what a lot of people have suspected, but why did nothing happen?
What the regulators told me
What's going on?
is that the prosecutors didn't feel that they would be able to prosecute the case successfully, so they did not pursue a case. Now, that doesn't take away from the findings of the regulators, who are the experts on this.
It doesn't change
just means
anything
that a
on the
case
facts.
was never taken to court.
It's not changing any facts.
So even though regulators found one thing, prosecutors have declined to pursue it. Now, of course,
But why?
I did think all of this was pretty shocking, so of course I wanted to ask Valve follow-up questions, but
It's
they didn't
loopholes,
respond
no?
to my request for an interview or for comment. However, I did find interviews from about 8 years ago during the first scandal where Valve was asked very similar questions about whether they benefited from all this gambling. And the way they respond is kind of telling.
For Counter-Strike in particular, I'm curious if you feel like gambling has had a positive impact on the game at all, as you feel like it's grown interest in the game over the past few years that it's been available.
He didn't like that.
Yeah, so I mean...
Well, what's the question?
Has gambling led to greater interest in Counter-Strike?
Has it?
Yes.
Oh, he needs to think a lot about this question. Yeah, he don't want to answer it, so it's just we don't know. We didn't investigate it.
We don't have any data.
Yeah, exactly.
To support that.
Yeah, but
yeah. So, I don't know.
Isn't that incredible? A company
How convenient.
that nearly has all the data has no idea if $1 billion gambling industry helps them. This is a company that hires literal economists to work on their video game economies. They say in those job descriptions, one thing we have at Valve is data, lots and lots of data. Yet on this one issue,
it's a little bit sus. It's a little bit sus.
To support that.
And we're supposed to believe they've never conclusively found if gambling hurts or helps them? I find it hard to believe.
Sus.
Especially when in the same interview a little bit later, the CEO, Gabe Newell, claims data isn't really hard to get in Valve.
Right. If there's something I need to know, I can find out about it.
We don't have any data.
And information is pretty freely available inside of the company. There's, it's just not hard to, if there's something you need to know, to find out about it. But there's no, you pull your information, there's no push towards you.
Right. Of course, it's not hard to find the information. These are the people who own Steam.
Yeah.
They have all the information. So here's a fun rule for you to think about.
Okay.
Anytime a company with this much data tells you, we don't have the data, it means we don't like what the data says, or we don't want to know what the data says, so we've avoided looking. And by the way, Valve admits only moments later that the Counter-Strike player base goes up when Valve releases things that make the game, quote, a stickier experience.
That growth in the player
What
base
is this
typically
supposed to
comes
mean?
either after the game has been on sale, or after we've added some features to the game that make the game a stickier experience.
Okay, we're getting somewhere. Growth happens when Valve makes their game a stickier experience. Now, I've got a follow-up. What's a stickier experience
what does this mean?
than a casino? It's so sticky, people have a problem stopping. You can't honestly say our player base grows with the stickier experience, and also we have no data that gambling has grown interest in Counter-Strike, because those two sentences are not compatible. And oh, by the way, we've been fighting gambling for 8 years and we keep getting outsmarted by 20-something-year-olds in Curacao. Like, you're just not trying that hard then.
What's going on in that stream?
More evidence for their lack of effort here, because Valve will occasionally take action on casinos, most often when they've been pressured to do so by bad press. Just take the PGL Majors, which started this whole thing. It was a horrible look for Valve, directly caused by the casinos. The result of that was almost immediately an update released only days later that for the first time in a while actually did something. Basically, Valve made it so that when you traded something in Counter-Strike, it was hard to then gamble that item. Basically, they changed a way that items showed up in your inventory. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it kind of messed up the way casinos were tracking items. Now, the end result of this is that casinos, along with skin traders in general, are slightly punished. Now, my point here is this patch could have been done at any time. The reason it happened a few days after the PGL Major was this disruption. This was a clear signal from Valve to the casinos. You stepped out of line, you caused trouble, we'll cause you trouble, right?
Okay.
I should note, the casinos are going to find workarounds to this, but there aren't infinite workarounds. It's obvious to everyone, including the casinos, that if Valve really wanted to shut them down, they could, since Valve ultimately controls the ecosystem by which everyone trades and tracks items.
I mean, there are many ways how you could prevent third parties to accessing this, right? You can just block the entire page, for example. You know the persons, so you can, people have to, you can do something like, okay, everyone who wants to showcase or use the Steam thing has to request an API key, and then if someone uses it in a way it's not supposed to use, you can just block it. You can block the full user or even the full IP of this user, There are a lot of ways how you can prevent it. And you don't even need a legal case for it. I mean,
So if they wanted to definitively shut down the casinos, they could, but it just is going to require work. Work that Valve doesn't seem to have a huge appetite to do.
I mean, it's not even so much work. Like, if I would be a developer at Valve, I could probably do this in a day. Like, implementing those changes to the system. I mean, look, this with the story with the majors, it took them like 5 days.
To do?
And this includes the full process probably, like discussing it, then, discussing it more, between different departments, making a schedule for the release so that it goes live in all versions at the same time, informing all the stuff about the changes, and then also, you know, giving the developer the task to do it and to test it and to implement it. 5 days. So, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe because it would impact other players. Maybe because they just historically haven't done that work. Unless they're...
I mean, making the... I don't know how the API keys work, but making it request only would be not that bad, in my opinion. I don't know.
Forced to by press.
Unless they are already. I don't know. I haven't worked with Steam
Now look,
API
it
so
might
far.
feel like I'm being a little harsh towards Valve here, or I'm putting a lot of the responsibility on them.
But it's on them.
And if it feels that way, it's because I am. I do think
but it
they
is,
need to
yeah.
be the ones to change for 2 reasons. One, no matter where you look, in the
Influencers,
chain of
yeah.
responsibility from influencers.
Yeah, I mean, some of you know I do influencer marketing, and the amount of requests you get from casinos, like actual internet casinos, real casinos, casino-like website, also horse racing and stuff like this, is so popular, and they pay a lot. They do pay a lot, but I turn those offers down because I don't want to touch this money that they are doing, to be honest. But yeah, like influencers are being used a lot for this. Like there's a lot of requests for them. Also for CSGO sites, it's the same thing. Like people are like, oh, we give you, you know, like we give you about the same amount for putting the logo in your rotation for 30 days as if you would get from another partner for 90 days. Like that's round about the numbers they are moving. They're giving you at least like 3 times the money than other people do. So that's why people accept it as well. Except me, I ain't doing that shit. I'm sorry, I use a curse.
All the way to governments.
But yeah, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of casino, but loot boxes I think are fine, but not in the way Valve is handling it.
Everything points to them. Valve is easily the most equipped to solve things because they are a single stakeholder. Everywhere else you look, there's coordination problems. At the influencer level, if you don't take Gamba money, other influencers will. At the casino level, you want to be more regulated, your competitor doesn't. Even at the esports level, you don't take a gambling sponsorship, your competitor will. Even at the government level, if one country bans it, just take a VPN somewhere else where it's not banned. Not to mention, even when governments do ban it, and by the way, I think they should be part of the solution, but even when they do ban it, Valve can try to maliciously avoid regulation with new loopholes, which is not a hypothetical.
Yeah.
They've literally done this. In France, for instance, where loot boxes that can be traded for money are banned, Valve updated their game just in France to put in what they call an X-ray scanner,
X-ray
where you
scanner.
can see the contents of your loot.
This sounds like those weird apps you got. Those no, it was apps I think on TV that you know. Back in the 2000, I don't know, and they had those clappable smartphones. There were so many ads on, especially MTV. I don't know, maybe it was only in Germany as well, but for like X-ray scanners, like they tell you, okay, you can get this app, and then if you take a photo of someone, you can see through the clothes, things like this, and you were like, what the frick? This is on TV?
Loot box before you open it, making the results technically not random. The catch is, though, you can't open another loot box until you pay to finish opening the one you've scanned. It's just a workaround the law to allow the same gambling.
That's so stupid. That's so stupid.
Just legally, I guess. But it turns out this may have been a tactical mistake, because it kind of gave away the game Valve is playing. Because remember, they're trying to pretend.
Now you can see instantly how high your chances on the things, right?
Not to be gambling, But this loophole they're using is literally a loophole slot machine companies use, where they will do what's called pre-reveal the result of a slot spin before you spin and say it's not gambling as well. In states like Missouri in America, this is how gambling companies were trying to avoid the gambling classification. Funnily enough, while learning about this loophole, I found this. Quote, the gambling companies don't like each other and will claim one company is breaking the rules while they apparently follow them. I'm getting flashbacks to this story as well. But the point is, if Valve is resorting to using gambling companies' loopholes, from the pachinko parlor loophole to the pre-spin loophole, what does that say about what they're selling? Even Valve's own users are realizing this. In a post about the French law where they dodged it with this pre-reveal, people are saying, quote, they seriously skirted the laws that stupidly easily. Sounds like Valve is using loopholes taken straight from casinos. So that's why I'm saying, yes, countries should regulate predatory loot boxes designed as slot machines. Yes, influencers shouldn't take dirty deals. Yes, casinos should in theory self-regulate. But if we're looking where to lay out a plan to fix Valve's underage gambling problem, it all comes back to Valve. No one else can.
I almost forgot the underage point. Yeah, so many people, you can access the game when you are like 10 years old.
Unilaterally shut this down except for them. And at the same time, no one stands to make so much money from keeping it open and lying about what exactly these cases are, using the same arguments casinos have been making for decades as Valve. And that's why I'm being so harsh, because frankly, they deserve it. This isn't some indie video game studio that's struggling to survive. Valve is pound for pound one of the most profitable companies in the world, period. Not just because of gambling, in spite of it. With just Steam, they're already...
Yeah, I was about to say, like, just... Every game developer is giving a big cut of their game price. So if you are paying... Okay, let's say you are paying $20 for our game, okay? From Valve is taking like 6 of those bucks. So you get 14... And then you also have taxes and all those things. And at the end, you might, all of those $20, you might end up with like 6 or 7. Like, yeah.
Already larger than most publicly traded gaming companies, affecting millions of people a day without gambling. So it isn't crazy to expect basic responsibility from a company who touches so many lives. Unfortunately, Valve is not only uniquely able to take action, they're also uniquely equipped to avoid it. They're privately owned, an international company, and are known for not responding to journalists in situations like this or reacting to the press in any way. So for my last argument, I'm not going to say a word. I'm just going to let Daddy Gabe do the talking. In the hopes of inspiring some change at this megacorp. Here's Gabe's thoughts on Valve and their responsibility.
People at Valve have to get used to working without a safety net. There's nothing between you and a customer. You can do something. You can come in that morning, and by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you have a million customers, right? And they're all
emailing you.
They're all me emailing you, and you probably should fix it, right? But nobody's looking over your shoulder. And for some people, that's liberating. For some people, it's terrifying.
Yeah. I really can't think of anything that better captures the Valve gambling story. You've screwed 1 million customers. You should probably fix it, but no one's looking over your shoulder. It has been 8 years since Valve set out to end these black market casinos built around their game. And still, the industry is alive and well. In fact, the harassment and threats in that industry are worse than ever. Meanwhile, Counter-Strike's own competitive players, influencers, and casinos all say there's an underage gambling problem, but Valve seems no closer to fixing that either. Maybe that's because the only way to fix it is to acknowledge that Counter-Strike's loot boxes are a little too close to slot machines. And look, I'm not even saying that if they want to go that route, they can't. But at least ID your customers, at least acknowledge what it actually is. Otherwise, you're just trying to have your cake and eat it too. You want gambling without any of the responsibility that comes with it. And we all know that that kind of cake is a lie. Look, I know this is a long shot, and maybe it's pointless. I look back 8 years and I see many of the same stories of victims, villains, and Valve with zero real change. But knowing the odds are slim hasn't stopped kids from getting addicted. So it's not going to stop me either. This is a gamble I'm willing to take.
Damn. Bev did not reply. Okay. So yeah, let's take a look at the comments, I would say, really quickly. 328. Getting an ad when you pause now is hilarious. Wait, YouTube did implement this now? Oh my god, YouTube. What are you doing? I'm using YouTube Premium. So, you know, it's fine for me, but I'm hearing those ridiculous things from them. I don't know. There will be the point, in my opinion, there will be a point where someone is like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna make it better. They will make their own platform and it's gonna grow, and people are switching over there. There will be a moment like this. It might not be now. It might not be next year. It might not even be in the next 3 years, but in the next 10 years, probably, really likely, if they don't fix their stuff. And I will be moving too. I will be going there as well if it happens. Just saying. Coming back to this, after the CSGO economy got changed is interesting. Did it? How did it change? Valve doesn't want to infringe on the consumer rights and privacy of its users. After having taken the necessary steps and then some discourage children from accessing their platform and mature rated games 17+, Valve's Counter-Strike is specifically rated or for adults. Okay. Parents don't want to keep an eye what the kids do with the completely unrestricted internet access the horrible parental figures give them. Where's the video on Roblox and their obsession with allowing and promoting children to get gambling? Wait, what? There's something going on there as well? And the deal with pedophiles. Yeah, this is probably known. I mean, I heard about that. Crazy. So, yeah, most of the comments are about these kind of things. Okay, but, I mean, yeah, Steam. This is the problems of Steam, kind of. So let's go to other problems of Steam. And the next video we are watching is called How Steam Became the Only Good Monopoly in Existence. Because, yeah, usually a monopoly is pretty bad. You have it with drinks, Coca-Cola company. You might think they are not around you, but they probably are. I mean, Coca-Cola is owning a lot of water brands as well. They are owning, was it Sprite or Fanta? Maybe even both. You know, they are owning more than just Coca-Cola. So even snacks and stuff like this, like snack companies, like they own a lot, and you might not even know it until you look up the company and then find out, oh, they are owned by Coca-Cola, you know? So, yeah. It's bad.
Steam shouldn't exist. Okay, hear me out for a second. I'm definitely glad it exists. I use it like several times a week to buy and play.
Smite with Shoujo. Yeah, this did not age well. This didn't age well. This did not age well at all.
The games. And I have a good experience almost every time. But it definitely shouldn't exist. I mean, if I told you that there was a tech company that was founded in the 90s that controlled 70% of its market and that had basically zero meaningful competition, and that the CEO owns a fleet of yachts so big that he needs smaller support yachts for the main one, you'd probably start thinking about guillotines and not video games. And yet this more or less perfectly describes Valve, the company responsible for Steam. It's basically impossible to name another tech company from that era that has a reputation that's half as good as Valve.
You got a cat. Look at the cat. What does it say? Edgar? Is the name Edgar? Cute. Cute. Sorry.
And even just a quick Google search will show you a litany of admiration and good reviews for Gabe Newell, the founder, in a way that very few people seem to talk about, say, Zuckerberg or Bezos. Valve and Steam have won at the game of capitalism, and they've effectively monopolized an entire business. And yet they are, at the same time, lauded as one of the best examples of a consumer-friendly product. And it makes no sense at first glance. So how did they do it? How did Steam beat capitalism without getting greedy?
Okay.
Valve Corporation is without a doubt one of the most important companies in all of technology. It was founded by two guys, Gabe Newell and Mike Harrington.
It looks so different.
In all of technology. It was
no, actually not really.
Founded by two guys, Gabe Newell and Mike Harrington, who left Microsoft in 1996 to pursue a dream project.
Wait, wasn't Mike the psychology guy?
Creating their very own video game from scratch. Their debut project was Half-Life, and it was so successful that it still is today considered one of the greatest video games of all time. And since then, they've released a lot of bangers. Half-Life, Team Fortress, and Counter-Strike are all still incredibly popular series and have millions of players every day collecting.
Those are tools on Place 2? What? Really?
But after releasing several extremely popular games themselves, they noticed a few issues with the games industry. If you're a little older, you might remember a time when pirating a PC game was comically easy.
No, yes, I do. But I don't know. I don't know what my first PC version was, but it was quite easy back then. If you know how to navigate around all those fake download buttons or all the fake files. At some point, you know, okay, this file I should probably not enter, because they will put, they put the game there, but they ask you also to install like 1,000 other things, and then you suddenly have a couple of buttons in your browser that you didn't want it, those kind of things. So yeah, I don't know. Is there any game I got completely legally? I think yes. No, there was one, and it was like a police simulation type game, but it was only like the demo. It was like a early version of the full game, which I played then, and then at some point it was just the end, and you had to basically buy the full version to continue. What else? Need for Speed. Was it? I think it was Need for Speed Undercover. The one, it has like a yellow car on it, and I owned the game. Actually, I bought it and played it, and at some point I lost. I tried to reinstall it again, but it told me I cannot reinstall it for some reason, and I tried a lot with my back then knowledge to fix it, and then it didn't work, and then I just went to other sites to get it. Yeah.
Literally within a few days, you could get free software.
I think that's
bypassed most security measures with like a few seconds of Googling. And we saw the first wave of companies getting really desperate to put the lid on piracy. When Doom 2 was leaked weeks before its official release, their developer responded by banning any pre-launch reviews or external testing for their next game, Quake. The then vice president of marketing even announced that no copy of our games would leave the building.
Damn.
Except that game ended up also being leaked 3 days before its release. Some kid literally just broke into their network and downloaded
Wait, what? Turn on a FTP server. Whoa.
The game in front of them. And they were so young that the company didn't even bother pressing charges. This state of affairs, though, wasn't all fun and games. The lack of security also made games way more prone to hacking and cheating, and it was super difficult for game developers to have a clean method.
There were so many cheaters in Counter-Strike. Well, they probably still are there. I mean, I say rare when it was like maybe 10 years ago.
To offer security and performance patches over the lifespan of the game. And this is where Steam came in. You see, Gabe Newell has a pretty famous take on piracy.
What's Valve's take on piracy?
So we don't really worry about piracy. There's misconceptions in the industry about what piracy is, that they don't want to pay any money and they want to get your content. But when you look at the fact that these people have, $2,000 PCs, clearly they're willing to spend money. Everybody in the United States knows that Russians are pirates. When the reality is that the pirates in Russia were actually doing a much better job than the games companies themselves. And as soon as the product became available at the same time that it was available in Australia or the UK or the United States, and it was localized in Russia, all of a sudden our piracy problems in Russia disappeared. Piracy is a result of bad service.
The whole idea behind Steam was to fix part of this service problem, to combine piracy protection, software updates, and anti-cheat technology all into one platform that was at least as easy to use as the pirate methods. The scope of the project expanded over time to not just include Valve's games, but other people's games and social and community features as well. And well, they kind of nailed it. Since launching in late 2003, Steam has accumulated over 100,000 games and now has over 40 million daily concurrent users.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I think it'd be a stretch to call Valve a game developer like you might have in the 90s. Today, they're a retail business that occasionally develops games on the side. But still, even despite that, the world has changed a lot since 2003. And Valve has followed such a drastically different path than the rest of the tech world. We can compare it with, say, Microsoft, which recently announced that it was increasing prices of its Xbox Game Pass subscription service by 50 to 100%, depending on where.
That is crazy. I'm so happy I don't have an Xbox Game Pass. Oh my god.
Anywhere in the world. Or even Nintendo, which is selling $80 to $90 games. Meanwhile,
I'm
Steam
freaking Nintendo. I don't like them, I'm sorry.
On the other hand, has no
They have some good games, but they don't do anything good anymore. Like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of them at the moment. I like the games, but I don't like the company.
Subscription services. It has a weirdly generous return policy and several extremely generous sales every year. When that's clearly not the established meta in gaming today. You won't find any reviews like this if you look up their competitors. People don't wax poetic about the Epic Games Store or about EA Origin. And there are a few...
Hey, who was the guy who said you don't have phones? Wait, what? Oh, it was the Diablo thing, right?
Really good reasons why Valve behaves the way they do. And seemingly nobody else does. Honestly, we can't talk about this story without acknowledging the elephant in the room. Every time we go online, there are companies that are tracking what we buy, where we live, and literally everything that we click on.
Yeah.
Oftentimes,
it's an ad, okay.
This data ends up in the hands of data brokers, companies that build massive profiles.
Oh, is it incognito?
Files about you and sell them online to advertisers, scammers, and even background check websites.
Yeah.
And you've likely never heard of a single one of these brokers before. That's where incognito comes in. If you've kindly sponsored this video. Recently, I received an email letting me know that my personal data had been leaked in a data breach from a website that I use to buy train tickets of all things. Thankfully, Incogni found hundreds of data brokers and sent legal removal requests on my behalf, forcing them to delete any and all.
Actually, it's a smart business, because especially you can just crawl the data, because it's really easy because you get the information from one person, so you know exactly 100% exactly what you need to look for. So you just make crawlers that look for this specific information, and when you find it, you just send a request. It don't even have to be like a good one. It can just be a generic one. Hey, please remove this data. So yeah.
Of my personal data. I could do this manually, but there are tons of these brokers, and with Incogni, you don't have to send any emails or fill out any forms. They handle the entire process from top to bottom and keep monitoring these platforms over time, so your data stays off of them for good. You end up with less spam in your inbox, lower risk of identity theft, and even fewer robocalls. Right now, you can get 60% off and a 30-day money-back guarantee with my unique link, incogni.com/fads. So consider checking them out if you want more control over your online data. Thank you to Incogni for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it.
Thanks for the
end. Valve is a weird company, but not just from the outside. While basically every major tech company from their era decided to become publicly listed on the stock market and solicit investment from the public, Valve has had a really quite different approach. They've remained completely private since being founded. And as a result...
To be honest, it's a good decision because once you go public, investors will value you based on your stock. So if it goes down, okay, you are average, or you even worse, you are going down, you will not find investors that want to go in, you know. But if you're private, you can just say, look, those are our products. If you want to see how they are doing, you need to chat with us, you know. And in the chat, you can convince them that you are the right product. It's way better than having some weird graph which is detecting your life. Because even if you are going down right now, you can say, yeah, but we still have, I don't know, 400 million users or something, you know, on the platform that are active. You can still make your point. So, yeah.
It can be hard to find out pretty much anything about how the company works.
It's a better move.
But some people have done their best to dig deep and get some information. The biggest advantage, first of all, of them being private is how they set goals. A public company like Meta has obligations every quarter. They have to announce and subsequently beat their earnings estimates.
Yeah.
The share price has to keep going up, and even a small dip in revenues can be pretty disastrous for the future of a huge publicly listed company. The line has to keep going up, and the collective tech industry realized a while ago that the best way to do that is to acquire as many users as humanly possible. And then you start squeezing them for everything they're worth. You add in a subscription plan and you can get consistent monthly recurring revenue, which makes it easier to create these.
Weird. Wait, this is freaking Instagram? Yeah, Facebook and Instagram. What is this? Business Standard? Business Plus? What is this? Wait, verified badge? Impersonation protection. Shouldn't this be something standard for being on the website as a creator? I don't want to go on a website where, you know, where someone can impersonate me unless I buy the subscription from the same platform I'm on right now. I mean, what the hell? What the hell? Nah, this is stupid.
Earnings estimates. You can shoehorn in blockchain, cloud, or AI, depending on what year it is.
Copilot. I hate it.
You got another couple $100 billion of investment, easy peasy. And
recently, I clicked accidentally on a button, and freaking Copilot started talking. I was like, "Can you go away?" And it didn't stop. It just kept talking. I didn't know how to turn it off. I was a boomer in this moment, and then it took me like 2 minutes to figure out how I can. Which keys I have to press to get this thing out of my face.
The strategy has worked so effectively.
Oh my god.
Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon are all literally trillion-dollar companies. Zuckerberg's platform has decided the results of elections, and Amazon brought in $640 billion in revenue in 2024. Even the most generous estimates put Valve's revenue at like 1 to 2% of a platform like Amazon. And that's a pretty big downside if your goal is to make the biggest company on the planet or to become the most powerful person on the planet. But that's not the case at Valve. Being private offers a hell of a lot of benefits. You're only bound to the will of a handful of owners who can think on a much longer time frame, who can do stuff because they think it's a good idea.
And if a mistake happens, you mistake in terms of, okay, this thing was a flop. You don't have to necessarily, you know, talk to public to explain what happened.
Yeah. And they don't have to cater to whatever's trendy in the market just to keep their business solvent.
Yeah.
Day to day. You'll actually notice that the Steam interface has barely changed since the original launch. There's no AI chatbot in there, and their changes operate under a whole different calculus, a whole different set of decision-making principles. Since being relevant to Wall Street is just not a core part of their business model. They can focus their energy on changes that are actually worth doing, not ones that look like what the market wants to hear. And that philosophy has kind of permeated the entire company from top to bottom. A few years ago, a copy of their internal employee handbook leaked and revealed a lot of weird stuff happening inside Valve. Valve is a company where no one has a formal manager, projects are completely self-organized,
Really?
And employees decide how they
sounds really
allocate
cool. How
100%
do I
of their
apply
work
that?
time throughout the week. The handbook literally tells employees that they should only work on a project that they believe is important enough for them to work on. They have a
Damn.
section all about work-life balance, which directs newcomers towards a specific employee that they can speak to if they need more encouragement to take time off. There's so much
Damn.
stuff in here that would never in a million years pass the approval structures of your average public company.
Yeah.
Where having power over people is kind of the point a lot of the time.
Yeah, and where you need to outsource a lot to be on a good one, you know. There are a lot of, you know, I was kind of working with Wired in this kind of environment. So, for example, a customer service center, for example, you don't value something by not necessarily how many people you have, but the value comes from, okay, how much, what is the cost for each player request that we are getting, you know? And you are trying to keep it as low as possible, because that way you grow. The lower it goes, the better. And I hate those things so much, because it's like, okay, how do we reduce everything to the minimum? To the minimum that is possible, and it might go well for some time, but on the long run, you only get issues, because there is nothing more you can go down unless you sacrifice the freaking quality of the service, the game, or whatever you are doing. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a fan of private things.
Stuff like...
It sounds weird. Of private companies.
Nobody has
Let's
ever
say
been
it like
fired
this.
at Valve for making a mistake, and working overtime for extended periods indicates a fundamental failure in planning at Valve. These things are pretty wild to see in a corporate handbook, and clearly Valve has put a lot of thought into creating a company that actually does seem to get quite a lot out of its people, especially given how small it is. I've kind of been glazing these guys up.
400 people?
Quite a lot out of its people, especially...
Code documents, 79. Okay. Well, that's not so many people. Well, but what do they need to do? They don't really program anything, do they? Do they do updates in Dota? So maybe they have like 10 developers, 5 designers, I don't know, you know, some people for 1 or 2 games, maybe 3. And then the rest is just... Yeah. Oh, wait, it says it's their games. Wait, games is at the bottom probably, right? So administration is obviously, they have some hardware. Ah, yeah, the Steam servers. Yeah. And then Steam itself. Wait, what is Steam itself doing? Is it, if games are separate, what is Steam itself? Customer service probably, right? I would say. Are they doing in-house or are they doing outsourcing? That's the
given
question.
how small it is. I've kind of been glazing these guys up until this point, all right? And in the world we live in, they're clearly not the worst tech bros out there. But it's important to remember one thing about Valve. It's not a charity, okay? It exists like literally every other company of this scale to make a lot of money. And it does that incredibly well. The CEO, Gabe, isn't...
Yeah, you hire the right people and then... I mean, then there's nothing stopping you.
suffering because of his choices. He hasn't sacrificed anything in the pursuit of this business model, right? He's got an
He's having
armada
Dota
of
in the
yachts and is
background,
currently
right?
building a $400 million super yacht, which is about the same price as a Boeing
All the
747
signs are telling me to play Dota. It's crazy.
passenger jet. And I don't know how many times you might need to hear this, but you don't get quite to this level without doing at least some degree of shady business.
Wait, where did Edgar go? Edgar, where did he go?
And Valve has not been immune from that. Honestly, the most important reason why Valve continues to operate the way it does is because it works incredibly well at making money. Their revenue per employee is higher than basically every other major tech company, and they just like print money with Steam, which is likely the reason why we've seen so few actual game releases from a company that was created to release
Yeah, it's
games.
a low priority.
It makes a lot more sense to just sell other people's games
Yeah.
and benefit from the upside of a successful hit, and take little to no risk if a huge project flops on their platform. Even once you're aware of the main factors behind Valve's success, their unique corporate structure, their good leadership, focus on consumer experience,
He's playing
and strong
Dota.
hiring, it can be a little difficult to understand why they haven't been dethroned yet, especially given that the competition collectively has access to trillions of dollars. Now, part of it is just that the PC market has grown year on year, It's so unbelievable.
The freaking RAM things are going crazy as well. I was thinking about maybe selling my RAM storage. I still have some leftovers from the old PC, which I was planning to rebuild, but now I'm like, maybe I should sell them. Like the price, like I will pay right now, I would get like probably 4 times the amount than I bought them for.
Unbelievably cheap and easy to access the PC gaming world, especially compared to 2003, and Valve has been rewarded handsomely for that. And while they've been able to achieve this level of growth without actually like seriously mistreating their consumers or their employees, they've not necessarily been as nice to everyone else involved in the game development process. As they've grown, the pressure that they've put on game developers and game publishers, especially the smaller ones, has been getting a little bit out of hand. So Steam takes a 30% cut of all sales through the platform, which is ludicrously high.
Okay, now we are talking about this. I think I already talked about it like 30 minutes ago or something.
Context, a website like eBay takes about 12 to 15%.
Yeah,
while
and then
other games,
you also have taxes and all the other things that come on top of it.
Still platforms take even less. Epic Games takes nothing on the first $1 million in sales. And even the famously generous Microsoft only takes 12% of sales on its store. And in a fairer world, game developers could take advantage of lower fees on other platforms to offer better prices to customers. If I was a game developer that needed to make $7 per copy sold in order to recoup my initial...
I don't know. I mean, I should make games. Kind of. I say kind of because so far we haven't released anything. But I wouldn't, like, I would put the same price everywhere. So, because if I do it less, not to take more money, but if I do less, then it might feel, someone might feel forced to go to the other platform because they're cheaper, you know. So, that's why I would probably just use the same price everywhere. So people don't feel forced to move to the other platform because it's $2 cheaper or something.
Costs. Then I could charge $10 on Steam as a minimum since they take 30%. And I could charge, say, $7 on Epic since the first $1 million in sales has 0 fees. Customers would get cheaper games, the devs would get the same amount of money. It's one of the clearest win-wins ever. Except that Valve is well aware of this and forces developers to agree to what's known as a most favored nation clause in its agreements. An MFN, a most favored nation clause, basically means that a developer can't sell their game substantially cheaper elsewhere if it's also listed on Steam. It means that even if another platform cuts the...
But I wouldn't even do that. Like, it's... You know, I wouldn't even do that. Because I don't want other people to play my games on different platforms than they are used to. And there's a good reason behind it. Because how many times do you open your Epic launcher and how many times do you open your Steam launcher? If you get the game on Epic Games and you are not opening it every day, that you are less likely to play the game than if you are like a, you know, Steam user, obviously. And most people use Steam. They open the Steam browser probably more than the Epic Games launcher. So having the same price on both platforms would make the most sense for everyone. Like, you get more money if the people are on the other platform as well, but I wouldn't even make it about the money. Just give people the same price so they are not forced to be on one platform, and also it's helping you because you are on the more favorable platform. If they use Epic Games more, they're probably gonna get you on Epic. If they play on Steam more, they probably get you on Steam, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. Like, to me, it doesn't make sense to change the prices that crazy, like that. Yeah.
The fees that they take. The developers aren't allowed to pass on the savings from that deal to the end consumer. If a game is $10 on Steam, it has to be about $10 everywhere else. And very few games can survive without being on Steam, given that they have all of the customers. It's created a setup where Steam looks like the best deal, in part because it literally pressures developers and publishers to not offer a better deal elsewhere. And while most competitor platforms actually offer pretty generous deals to smaller developers, Steam does the opposite. Games that sell millions and millions of copies end up receiving a better split.
What?
This isn't because, I don't know, Activision needs the money, but it's because Valve understands as a company that the big developers are the ones who have the true bargaining power, the ones who can have significant impact if they try to leave. And by offering them these generous deals, they encourage them to stay on Steam from day one.
Concept. This is a good concept. Can I spoiler? I don't know. Nah, I will not say anything. It's fine.
Indie developers who sell 50, 100, or even 10,000 copies of a game don't have a fraction of the bargaining power. And so there's no need to offer them a better deal.
I was thinking about saying something,
clearly
but
pretty
I stopped myself from saying it.
But from a marketing and PR sense, it's actually genius. Steam always ends up having the best price possible on its platforms. The customers always get what looks like a reasonable deal. And Valve doesn't bear any responsibility if a game ends up being more expensive than the public expected. The blame falls squarely on the developers. Meanwhile, other platforms can't easily compete on price and have to compete on other things, which is why you see exclusive releases as a method of competition. But people hate having to download a whole separate app to play one game because it's annoying and it feels anti-competitive. It feels like the wrong way to compete in this space. And by the way, I'm not like pretending that the Epic Games Store is like some pariah of the gaming industry, okay? They would definitely be doing the same shit if they could, right? They're just annoyed that they can't. They're actually really annoyed that they can't because the CEO of Epic Games has been on this warpath for many years now. And the reality is their app is not the best, not just because of these anti-competitive practices that they're subject to, but also because the Epic Games Store is not very good. And many of these alternatives are just not very good to use. They can be buggy and laggy, while Steam ultimately, at the end of the day, provides
I mean, they are in this business for way longer than Epic Games, so obviously they have the better platform.
Service. The point that I'm actually making here is that Steam
not
has
meaning someone else cannot make a better platform,
and they're using this power to do what all private monopolies always end up doing: restricting consumer choice and restricting competition. Until recently, Apple did a very similar thing. They'd take 30% of all in-app purchases that were done on Apple devices. Apps were literally not
Wasn't
even allowed
the thing with Epic Games
to
as
tell
well?
their users that Apple was just taking 30% of the money.
Is this what we are going to talk about
Google
now?
Chrome or whatever for a discount. Apple wasn't taking this 30% fee because they were providing some amazing extra service when you bought your Fortnite V-Bucks. They did it because, much like Steam, they have completely unreasonable levels of control over the mobile app market and they can get away with it. And it was a major legal issue until earlier this year when a long-standing lawsuit forced Apple to let developers offer alternate payment methods.
I knew it.
And in my opinion, this is basically identical to what Steam does in gaming. Except they were smart enough to realize that they needed to keep the biggest publishers on side and they couldn't push it too far. Instead of trying to get 30% out of literally everyone like Apple did, they made it an explicit point to offer more generous deals to the bigger clients. And again, let me remind you, Steam is actually a pretty good service, right? It mostly just works, but that doesn't mean it's not also holding an unfair market position. And it's no surprise that Valve are actually currently facing a class action lawsuit from a group of developers who allege exactly this. And they brought receipts. An economist quoted in the lawsuit even estimated that in a properly competitive environment, Steam wouldn't take more than like 17 to 18% of sales, as opposed to 30%. This is literally billions of dollars that would end up back in the hands of developers. It's not like chump change. And
I mean, it's true. It is true. But I don't know. I think like if I would be having a good game, I would be fine with 20%. It's like a 20% cut is fine because Steam is actually doing a lot. They are basically taking over part of your, refunds and stuff like that. They are taking care of the management, they are hosting you basically. They are, but you also have to pay them in the beginning. I'm not sure if it's a one-time payment or if it's a, recurring one, but to get your account or to Visa game, you need to pay money, by the way, in case you don't know it. Or was it Google? I'm not sure. But basically they are doing a lot. I mean, they are handing some refunds, they are giving you the platform, they are giving you the users and stuff like this. What happened to Steam? They I don't know. Apparently, so far what we know is that they apparently had mascots that they don't use anymore. Unfortunately, and I want them back. And they are doing shady businesses with Counter-Strike and gambling. That's what we found out so far. But now we are talking about positive things. Yeah, well, kind of. I mean, that they are taking such a high fee from developers is not good, but they are also providing a lot. Like, yeah, they're giving you a lot of things back. Also, the cloud servers. They're offering free cloud servers to all Steam users, to all of them, for free. And your game, they can save your game on the cloud storage as well. So yeah. Does Akai know? What now? What happened? What do I know? What happened? What is happening?
Valve and Steam offer a lot of this behavior because they're often seen as like a neutral middleman who only exists to make the process of gaming smoother. And they do that, but they do a lot more too. When I began looking into Valve as a company, I quickly found out that they have some pretty important issues that they're yet to solve. Despite the fact that they give employees tons of freedom to decide what they work on, their staff rarely stay as like...
Wait, what? Did something happen? No. I don't know what is happening.
Lifelong Valve employees. One analyst even said that I've not met anybody who had a career there. They last long enough to make money.
I noticed something in the overlay. Let me fix that real quick. I noticed that I'm not fully in the middle in the mobile one. Shotomata model. Is it this one? Yes. Okay, let me move myself a little bit. Okay, now it should be fine. But now it looks like I'm not in the middle anymore. Okay, let me move like this. Maybe this is fine. No, you can still see it a little bit too much. Let's do it like this. Then it's kind of away. Okay, I hope it's okay now. It's only on the vertical one, not on the horizontal one. Okay, I fixed it, I think.
But the developers that I've known there have left for greener pastures because the company doesn't publish games. But you'll notice that Valve hasn't actually completely given up on games. And the ones they've decided to keep tell us a lot about Valve's thinking. Once upon a time, they were really best known for single player experience.
Okay, if we had a pet on the channel, would you call it Oreo or EO? A pet? You mean like a lizard? We already had a lizard. Wait, do I have him right now? I haven't used him in a while, only in emotes. But on YouTube we don't have emotes anymore. They removed them from our channel, unfortunately. Let me see. Streaming emotes. But those are the new ones, I think. Yeah, I only have the new ones. But yeah. Wait. Where is it? It tells me it's some... Oh, it's super small. Ta-da! And it's super pixelated. I'm sorry. We have this one. Wait, let me fix that. Tomate. Why is it yellow now? Wait, did I select the wrong one? I think I selected the wrong one. No. It's just so big now. It's only on the horizontal stream, unfortunately. I cannot do things at the same time. I have to figure out how I can do that at some point. Tomate. By the way, Alice, are you on the horizontal one or on the vertical one? I really want the feature that YouTube has both of them in the same thing. There we go. It's slowly coming together. You can see the hand already. Oh. Ta-da! There he is. A black and white pet like a bunny, cat, dog, starfish, or a Cyberman? A Cyberman? What is a Cyberman? I don't know. Why can't we have a cat dog? But I don't know how I would call it. I don't know what EO means. I feel like EO means something in some language. And Oreo is a cookie. So I don't know. But if I had to choose one, right now I would go with Oreo.
Experiences. Games where you pay once and you had all of the content. However, ever since the release of Team Fortress 2, an online multiplayer shooter, they realized you didn't need to make new games.
A Cyberman is a Cyberman. Okay.
Needed to make more money from the games you'd already created. And thus was born the microtransaction. Instead of concepting, researching, and developing a whole new game, why not just sell cheap items that add on to an existing game? But the real genius wasn't selling like cheap collectibles and letting people buy them. It was letting people gamble for them. In 2010, Valve launched the Supply Crate, an in-game item for Team Fortress 2, which allowed you to receive a random in-game cosmetic item. Except to receive the item, to unlock the crate, you had to purchase a key with real money. Basically, you paid a small amount of money for the chance to receive an item that was worth potentially hundreds or thousands of dollars, or potentially an item worth nothing. This is the infamous loot box.
What? But
and
this looks
shock
nice.
horror, it turns out people, especially kids, quite
hat.
like gambling. Valve developed item marketplaces and whole in-game economies
that's
around
when they
these items,
realized
wherein
it.
people would sell them for real money, use them to launder illicit money, or just do some old-school degen gambling. The loot box mechanic has been so successful that it's present in basically every actively maintained Valve title.
He's really happy
While they
about
weren't the
this one.
first to use this mechanism, they definitely popularized it by creating marketplaces that integrated smoothly the in-game value of items with actual dollar value and let people swap them easily for cash. And Valve makes a killing from this. One Counter-Strike tracker estimated that Valve had made $1 billion just in 2023 from selling loot boxes in the Counter-Strike games.
That is
There are so
crazy.
many testimonies of former players of these games where they detail getting addicted to gambling as kids, especially in a game like Counter-Strike. And Valve hired leading economists to analyze their in-game economies, and they have a really intimate understanding of this stuff. They just have zero incentive to change things. The vast majority of people who play these games won't spend a penny, except the percentage that are susceptible to gambling addiction will spend all of their money on it. In the world of mobile gaming, which relies on a very similar model, about 50% of the revenue comes from just 0.1%
Yeah, but it's cosmetics.
of the user base. And we don't have numbers for Valve, but I don't imagine it's a mile off from this. When gambling regulators have tried to shut down these systems,
Here we go
Valve
again.
responds not
It's
by
the gambling.
removing them from the game, but by trying to tweak them and design alternative systems that keep as much of the gambling feel as legally possible. Valve has created what Yanis Varoufakis, one of their former economists, would call a digital fiefdom. It markets itself as a neutral middleman, but it actually has a hell of a lot of power for deciding what happens on its territory. Developers depend completely on them, and they have an unfathomable amount of consumer data and complete dominance of their market.
Gambling, like becoming XQC. Wordshed is there. Wordshed is disabled. Sorry. I read XQC and immediately my speaking skills went away. Yeah, I don't know.
And anyone that uses Steam to sell games is under a lot of pressure to remain on Valve's good side. They're more like medieval lords than they are medieval marketplace operators. And currently they've been pretty nice with that power, especially to the people at the end of the chain, the consumers. But they're under no obligation to keep that up. And I struggle to believe that Valve will keep being quite as nice if their margins ever get hit or if they have a change of leadership. We need to create a more robust system by making sure there's actual competition in this space. And if it's still not clear why competition is so important, you can just replace Steam with any other company that has this much control over a digital marketplace.
Yeah, Amazon.
Whether it's Apple or Amazon. And it might become a bit more obvious as to where the problems could emerge in time. All in all, things could be a lot worse, and my experience, and most people's experience with Steam, has been pretty good. But good enough is not good enough, okay? The standard that Steam has set for users should be the norm. It shouldn't be an exception. And in fact, it's very much the exception that proves the rule. Steam's level of quality should be the bare minimum that we tolerate, and I don't think that's too much to ask.
Okay, nice. But he's not having so many platforms. Go over there, support this guy. Fats is his name. It's not the fats, but the farts. Good channel, good video as well. So yeah, thank you. It's only 4 weeks old. And yeah, we have 2 more videos to go for today. And the next ones are a little bit more positive. This one is about a Steam class action lawsuit. And if I remember correctly, or saw the Epic, I think it was Epic Games CEO going wild on social media about this. So I will be interested about what's actually happening there, because I don't know so many about it. I don't even know what the message said. I just remember he was angry. So yeah. This video is from Water CS2 and it's called Wolf's Nuke to the end. What? Wolf's Nuke to end their Steam class action lawsuit. Okay, let's go.
For years, Valve has been fighting the Wolfire Games vs. Valve antitrust litigation, a case that threatens the foundation of the Steam platform and carries potential damages that would bankrupt other companies. We've talked about all the paperwork, interviews, and back and forth so far, but all of that is being pushed to the side. On December 1st, Valve's legal team filed what is arguably the most strategically devastating document the plaintiffs have faced yet. They are using a legal defeat suffered by the FTC in a massive lawsuit against Meta platforms as a shield to protect Steam. This new legal precedent could invalidate the plaintiff's entire theory of harm, potentially causing the lawsuit to collapse before it ever reaches a jury. If you're a developer or a gamer, you need to understand exactly why this filing matters more than every previous document combined. To understand the genius of Valve's new move, we have to quickly revisit the core claims of the plaintiffs. The central claim of the developers in Valve's class action antitrust lawsuit is that Valve holds an unlawful monopoly in the market for PC.
I mean, they kind of do, no? They kind of do. Okay, if the faction paradox said a LA serious faction, okay, who is the person you would trust to write it? The faction paradox? I don't even know what that is.
Game distribution. The plaintiffs highlight 2 anti-competitive practices. First, the 30% commission. Steam takes a 30% cut of game sales, which scales down.
Oh, it's about this. Okay. Yeah, I would be happy if it would be less, but again, they are offering a lot of services for the platform, and they have the largest user base. So it's kind of, you know, fine, I would say, because on the other end they could just charge everyone money every month or stuff like this as well. Sorry, Akai, wait, what? Why? I what is happening? I mean, I can Google it. The faction paradox. Faction. Is it from a series? Faction paradox. Media series. It is a series. Faction Paradox is a series of novels, audio stories, short story anthologies, and comics set in around a war in heaven. A history spanning conflict between godlike great houses and their mysterious something. Okay, I have never in my life heard of this. Oh, it's Dr. Wu again. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I still haven't watched Dr. Wu.
Down for high volume titles. The argument is that this rate is artificially high because there is no true competition, forcing Valve to lower it. Second is the price parity most favored nation clauses. Until recently, Valve used agreements that effectively prevented developers from selling their games cheaper on rival stores like the Epic Games Store or GOG, even if those competitors offered a lower commission. The plaintiffs argue that this locks competitors out and maintains Steam's price control. But the plaintiff's entire case depends on convincing a judge that the relevant market is narrowly defined as digital PC game distribution. According to their numbers, if that market is isolated, Steam holds an overwhelming market share.
Damn, that's a lot. But I mean, yeah. I mean, I get the arguments. Totally. So I'm interested what they're gonna use to argue against it. Because I would say the service and the platform, but let's see.
Enough to classify it as monopoly power. Before we look at the new document, we have to look at the money though, because the numbers are terrifying for this case. The claims argues that Steam's practices have resulted in higher game prices. Their expert economists have calculated the overcharge, the difference between the 30% commission Valve charges and the 17 to 18% rate they argue would succeed in a truly competitive market. According to expert testimony presented during the class certification phase, this difference applied retroactively across the class period, which means the alleged overcharge to developers could exceed $3.1 billion. But here's the detail that most people miss, and it is the reason Valve is fighting this case so hard. Under the Sherman Antitrust Act, damages are punitive. So if the plaintiffs win, the court is authorized to award treble damages. Treble means triple. If the jury finds that Valve owes $3.1 billion in actual damages, the law effectively mandates that the judge multiply that number by 3. We are talking about a potential liability of over $9 billion. So this lawsuit is a massive threat to Steam's future. However, Valve's recent filings have shifted the case entirely. The document we are focusing on is Valve's notice of supplemental authority in support of their motion for summary judgment. A motion for summary judgment is a powerful legal tool that allows one party to ask the judge to decide the case before it ever goes to a jury trial. It is a request for the judge to rule that based on all the evidence gathered so far, there is no genuine dispute over the essential facts, and based on the law, the opposing side cannot possibly win. If the judge grants summary judgment to Valve, the case would be dismissed, and the developers get nothing. If the judge denies it, the case proceeds to a jury trial. Valve is relying on a massive legal defeat suffered just 2 weeks ago by the Federal Trade Commission in their antitrust case.
On WhatsApp? Try that focus on WhatsApp and Instagram. Damn, okay, so what's going on over there?
For just 2 weeks ago by the Federal Trade Commission in their antitrust case against Meta platforms. In that case, the FTC tried to argue that Meta had an illegal monopoly in the personal social networking market, but a US district judge threw the case out because the FTC defined the market too narrowly. They tried to pretend that TikTok and YouTube didn't count as real competition. Valve's lawyers are now holding up that ruling and telling the judge in this antitrust case, look at this, the exact same legal logic applies to Steam. Valve is utilizing 2 specific silver bullets from the judge's ruling. The first is market definition. The judge ruled that you cannot define a market so narrowly that you exclude obvious competitors just to make a company look like a monopoly. Judge Boasberg rejected the FTC's attempts to manufacture a monopoly by defining an artificially narrow market. He relied on evidence of the increasing similarities or convergence between projects that the FTC attempted to exclude. With just TikTok included, Facebook's market share was nowhere near the guideposts provided by case law for monopoly power, which the Supreme Court has suggested requires a market share of at least 75%.
Are they gonna bring up Fortnite? Because Fortnite is really big as well. Then you also have League as a game with a lot of users, you know. Is this the 30%? Fortnite and League?
So Valve is applying this directly to PC gaming. The plaintiffs want the relative market to be PC games only. Valve is arguing that just as the court couldn't ignore TikTok when judging Facebook, the court cannot ignore PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo when judging Steam. If the market is just PC games, Steam is a giant. But if the market is digital video games including consoles, Steam is just one player among many. If the judge accepts the Meta precedent, Steam's market share mathematically drops below the threshold needed to prove a monopoly, and the case collapses. The second point they're pointing to is the profits. The plaintiffs also claim that Steam's high profits, billions of dollars in revenue every single year, are proof of a monopoly. They argue that in a competitive market, these profits would be lower. Valve points back to the judge's opinion where he explicitly rejects that logic. It is always treacherous to try to infer monopoly power from a high rate of return, because high profits can come from shrewd management, exceptional efficiency, booming demand, or risky investments that hit big. So Valve is using a federal judge's own words to argue that making billions of dollars isn't a crime. It's just a sign that they run a better business than anyone else. They are betting everything that the judge in Washington will follow the precedent set by the judge in DC. So Valve is making a direct analogy comparing the FTC's failed market definition to the plaintiff's market definition in the Steam case. Valve will point out that a PC gamer or a developer who is unhappy with Steam's 30% cut has a dozen legitimate other options today, like the Epic Game Store, GOG, and direct launcher sales from major publishers like Riot, Blizzard, and others. As well, Valve argues that the true market is digital gaming, where Steam competes directly with the PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, and Nintendo eShop for developer attention, content, and consumer dollars. So if the judge applies the...
I don't know. I mean, you can only play PC games on Steam, no? I never played a PlayStation game on Steam. But I don't know. Can you all have Steam on the PlayStation?
Logic established in FTC versus Meta, Valve's market share in the broader digital video game distribution market immediately drops.
There are controller games though. There are, I think there are exclusive controller games on Steam, I think. I might be wrong. I mean, games that are preferred for a controller, yes, 100%, but yeah, I don't know.
Well below the 60 to 70% threshold typically required to prove monopoly power. The filing of this supplemental authority in their summary judgment motion immediately puts the pressure back on the Wolfire plaintiffs. They must now dedicate substantial resources to convincing the court that the PC game distribution market is somehow different from the social media market. They must prove that PC and console gaming are not substitutes, which is a difficult argument given cross-platform releases and crossplay. Plus, that the Meta ruling shouldn't apply to this specific type of antitrust case. So, the judge's decision on this motion will determine the entire future of this lawsuit. If Valve wins this, the entire multi-billion-dollar claim evaporates, and Steam's 30% cut is essentially legally approved as the result of market success, not monopoly. If the judge denies the motion, the case will proceed to a messy, long trial. This is the moment we discover whether Steam's dominance is a monopoly or simply the result of a superior, successful platform. If you want to stay up to date on what the judge rules, make sure you subscribe and like this video.
Okay, this made sense. This was a short one, but a good one. It was informative. Okay, and we have one last video. Oh, this is the one. This is the one. Steam exposed the gaming industry and Epic CEO crashed out. So this is what I saw on Twitter. Yeah. So this is another video we are watching today, and the last one, it's about 20 minutes. I try to keep it short because I have to travel tomorrow really early in the morning, so I need to even if I go to sleep right now, I would get like 5 or 6 hours. So yeah. Okay, so the next video is from Oh No, It's Alex. It's the last video we're gonna watch today. I will try my best to not pause so much as per usual. I mean, we are here for 2 hours, and I think we have videos that maybe go an hour, so we stretch it to double already. I will try my best to, you know, not pause too much on it. So yeah, let's go.
It really does confuse me quite often to see so many people in the gaming industry not understand why so many customers and consumers really like Steam as their de facto place to buy and play the majority of their PC games.
Yeah.
When you see what Steam has done with their refund policy, basically giving you all of your money back, even if you've played longer than 2 hours sometimes, is one of the main things overall. And one of the bigger things that's come into question recently was Steam's choice to apply AI labels and verification, signaling to the actual customer.
I don't know about this. Oh, sorry for that shot. I don't know about this though, because it's really vague. Like, what if someone used AI in the process to test things? Like, you know, Vizora, for example. We are using AI to test out graphics and see how it potentially can look in the game. And then afterwards we are requesting them, you know. Would this count as AI? Or if I don't know, if I use, if I get a character dialogue and I translate it with AI to a language I don't know, would this count as AI as well? Like, this is really vague. And then you can get games in the AI section that are technically not AI, you know. So this is the only thing that is worrying me. But I didn't read through this rule as well, so I don't know what exactly is impacted by it. But yeah,
to apply AI labels and verification, signaling to the actual customer before they buy a game that, hey, if you're a developer and you use AI, you need to disclose it in your store page so customers know what's going on. And there's a huge conversation about AI in the gaming space as well. Granted, you're going to be seeing a lot of games use more AI in the future, but I've always felt like if you're going to be transparent about what's going on in your game and how it's being developed, people should know how you developed your game before they spend their hard-earned money.
Yeah, I mean, Vizora, aka me, is communicating quite clearly, I think. We are using AI for testing.
On it, especially if they feel that AI is not good for them, or they just don't want to consume products that were used with AI in the first place. The difference is, though, there is one major competitor to Steam that has basically
Epic
done
Games.
the opposite the entire time, and that is in fact Epic Games.
Yeah,
and we've
I see
seen
with
this
crypto.
before, because
They do the
clearly
same with
when Steam
crypto.
was
They allow
talking about
crypto
being
games on the platform.
anti-NFT, Epic Games turned around and said, we're pro NFT, not realizing that being the complete opposite, the yin and yang to Steam, is not going to be the way to garner any sort of user base to your platform and storefront. Literally by going through and not only accepting NFTs in their own games, but also locking away exclusivity and paying for that exclusivity to drive people to
What happened to NFTs anyway? Are they still around?
Trying
Is
to
it
give
still
away
a
as
thing?
many free games as possible there as well. But through all of that by what Tim Sweeney has done, throwing around millions in Fortnite money in every conceivable way, they still haven't been able to catch up to what Steam has been doing, or even the kind of marketplace Steam is right now. And to make things even worse, Tim Sweeney consistently keeps putting his foot in his mouth. According to Culture Crave on Twitter, Epic game boss Tim Sweeney thinks stores like Steam should stop labeling games as, quote, made with AI, saying, quote, it makes no sense for game stores where AI will be involved in nearly all future production. And here again is where I totally disagree with Tim Sweeney, even though I've disagreed with...
I mean, it depends. It depends how you would define it. Like, what if in the testing stage you use AI to, you know, generate a landscape? Because obviously, if you request it from an artist for a landscape, you're gonna have it in a month. And with AI, you can get kind of a landscape that will look similar in a few seconds, you know. So you can have it already there, continue with the design, because now you know, okay, this is kind of the direction we are going to, and request the art pieces already. It will make your production go faster because you kind of have a flow of how it's gonna look like, you know. Otherwise you will buy things or request things that you then need to change because out of the sudden the design changed. Things like this. It happens. And I think AI can be really helpful in those things, like prototyping things, translating things maybe as well, you know. Like, I don't think it would be fair to label those things as AI. Just because you used them at some point in the process, you know. While the whole game itself is made by humans, just not this small part, which is not really impacting the game. So, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this. Like, for me, I don't know. Can you see this policy somewhere? I want to read through it. Because for me, if you have to disclose that from the first moment, then, dude, it's stupid. It is stupid. But if you are able to say like, okay, we used it in prototyping, but I don't know, the AI art is not there anymore. Everything is from humans. And then you don't need to label it as AI anymore. Then for me, it would be fine, you know. But yeah, I don't know. It's too vague at the moment.
Basically everything he's also said before. Remember that whole PS5 SSD thing? Yeah, I remember. Every customer and consumer in the video game space should be absolutely aware of what is being used to make their game, especially when they're spending their hard-earned money to in fact buy that game. If people do not want to buy games that are using generative AI, they should be inclined to know that this game either A, does in fact have AI, or it doesn't. That's how things should be. Clarity and information for customers and consumers has never been a bad thing. Literally sweeping it all away by saying, oh, everyone's gonna do it, therefore...
But it depends on the communication, right? It always depends on the communication. Like, if you communicate it clearly what you did, then it's fine. But if you are trying to hide things, that's when it gets sus, you know? When you're trying to hide what is going on.
Or it's okay is not the way things should be done. Customers and consumers should know exactly how their games are being made, where the AI is in fact being used, and they should make that decision based on their own criteria of whether or not they want to buy their game at all in the first place. That's really what I think Tim Sweeney and so many others do not understand what is in fact happening in the gaming space right now. Clarity and information should be completely required so the customer can make the best decision for themselves in the first place. If you've got a multi-billion-dollar corporation like Xbox and PlayStation making games with generative AI, firing all the employees afterwards, and then putting out nothing but slop in the first place, yeah, I'm gonna be pretty upset when they're asking for $70 fucking for that game. While at the same time, those exact...
Yeah, but as mentioned, it depends on how much you are using it. If they are using it only for a small section in the game or for prototyping, for me, you shouldn't have the need to label it as AI, you know, just because you used it at some point in the process, but AI is technically not in the game. It makes no sense.
Same companies will...
So yeah, I'm really interested in seeing this rule. Maybe he will... I thought I said I will stop less. So I will try my best now. And I hope he will show us the actual rule, because I want to read through it.
Turn around and say, oh, we
I haven't seen it
increase
yet.
the cost of video games, put microtransactions, put battle passes, and everything else in between to create more revenue for them in the first place, while also going through firing off every other kind of employee and having AI do the job for them. Microsoft's doing it themselves by 30% of Windows code is actually done by AI. And even at that space, they can't even get the goddamn operating system to work correctly. So what makes you think a game is going to be just fine for that as well, Tim? But the funny thing is, that's just what happened in that tweet from Culture Crave. People were in fact trying to defend AI usage in video games by saying the most possible.
Like
Take
what?
a look. Here's Yusuf Altuki saying this. He's right. It's about the end product, not the tools that made the product. Slop exists with or without.
No, well, it depends to what degree, right? As mentioned, if you use it for prototyping and it's helping you with the process, it's not only is the game getting produced way faster, because you don't have to wait a month to see where you are going with the design, you know. You can see it directly, and you can also give the artist clearer directions of how you imagine it to look like. That's how this model got created as well. I made AI prototypes and then explained to the artist, okay, look, that's kind of how I imagined it, and those are some of the elements I like, this is what I don't like, blah blah blah, and then we got this beautiful model here. That's how we did it. We used it for prototyping, so because it's easier to show and, you know, to show which direction you would like to go. It's for prototyping. Like, we are not. It's not like I use AI model right now. It's hand drawn. It's hand rigged and everything, you know. But the prototype, the first version of it that I showed to the artist on how I would like it to look like, roundabout, it was AI. And so I think if you use it for things like that, so you can get your vision straight and you don't have like a million changes in the end, it's better. It's taking less time for the artist because he will not have to change it 20 times. You can straightly already go ahead with other requests because you know how it will look like. You can make more other requests, get things faster done, you know. So I don't know. For me, it really depends on how you use it and to what degree. But generally saying everything in this direction is AI it's just stupid. I'm sorry.
AI, and reviews exist to punish slop. But if the end product is good and uses AI, who cares? Like, imagine you had to list every tool you use to build your game.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing about that, Yusuf. Game developers already do, in fact, list every single tool that is used when they build their game. Every time you boot up a game right now, especially, what's the first thing you see? Game was made with Havoc. Game was made with SpeedTree. Game was made with QMod.
Yeah.
You see every single kind of tool that was used inside of that game on those first splash screens when you boot that game up. What do you think those are? Just like fun pictures.
Isn't it in the credits? It's not the first screen.
Wanted to put up in the beginning to make you wait a little bit before you press start for the menu? No, those are the tools that were used when the game was in fact being developed.
The credits,
they have to have an understanding.
You have to publish
knowing,
at the
this is
at
where
the beginning, not
my
the
money and what I'm putting my money into. You talk about slop being made, and that word being overused by basically everybody in the gaming space really has been getting a bit out of control, honestly. Just because something is made that you don't like it, it doesn't mean that it's actually slop in the first place. It just means you don't like it. But you see, there's going to be one part that I do agree with Yusuf on. AI-generated use does not mean the game is going to be immediately bad. Aha! That's where the fun comes in, and the actual understanding of where AI is.
I mean, it depends. I don't know. I haven't... Me, personally, I haven't seen a single game that was made by AI that is good. But, yeah, okay.
Being used. Embark Studios is a great example. They made The Finals, and even on their Steam store page, you can clearly see the actual statement saying where AI was in fact being used on voiceovers. Embark Studios also made a little game called Arc Raiders that also uses AI content as well, and you can clearly see at the fact right there they are showing where AI was in.
Procedural and AI-based tools to assist with content creation. Okay. Damn. Wait, so they use AI for art?
In fact, used in development. Even though these games have had massive amounts of success, and even though they have used AI, you can clearly give the actual right to the customer and consumer to say, hey, we used AI, here's where we used it. You can choose whether or not
this
you
is
want to
fine.
buy the title because
it's the same with us. I mean, I think I'm clearly communicating that our company is using AI as well. Money, it's always AI, Akai. What? Damn.
Because of that. And that's perfectly fine to do. Just because it's going to be ubiquitous doesn't mean that you should completely ignore that idea in the first place. But there's going to be more to this as well, because we're going to see the exact tweet that Tim Sweeney said his response and go from there. Matt Workman on Twitter said this: Steam and all digital marketplaces need to drop the quote made with AI label. It doesn't matter anymore. With Tim Sweeney responding saying, agreed, the AI tag is relevant to art exhibits for authorship disclosure.
Wait, what? For art? I don't agree with that one. If you are using AI art in your game, then like actively using it and like it's in the game, you can see it. It's not like you use it for prototyping. Then it should clearly be tagged. Like what the heck? What the helly? A guy has the letters R and I. Does that mean Akai's AI? Yeah, I'm AKAI. Wait, what? Akai. Yeah. AKAI.
and to digital content licensing marketplaces, where buyers need to understand the right situation. It makes no sense for game stores, where AI will be involved in nearly all future production. You see, it's incredibly funny that Tim says that, because what you're seeing right now is a contradiction in his own ideas. When he talks about art exhibits and everything else, when you're applying to actual credit, that's going to be a big factor. If AI is being used in video games to create that kind of specific art, then the actual user and customer should be aware of what AI has actually done and where they've done it themselves in development. In fact, Tim Sweeney on his own even said this before about AI, where according to PC Gamer, he said this: Epic Games CEO says AI companies shouldn't be hoovering up everybody's art data. Tim Sweeney doesn't want to get...
Wait, he just... If Steam is doing something, he's just saying the complete opposite of it. What's
in the way
what's the point of
AI
this? An Akai AI 47 rifle, exactly.
But doesn't approve of scraping art without permission either. And you see, that's why I'm so confused by Tim Sweeney's statements. He knows that AI is going to be used in game development, yet he wants to make sure that AI companies don't go around taking up everybody else's art without credit or even applying where that credit came from. But at the same time, he wants the AI tag to be removed by not providing any information.
I think the customer. I'm gonna get a good shot of him. I think what he's trying to do is, there are probably a lot of developers right now who don't want the AI tag, maybe for some reason. Also big publishers probably, they don't want to display it right on the store page at least. And I think his plan is to get those bigger publishers over to Epic Games, so they don't publish on Steam, or they first publish on Epic Games, something like that, so that, you know, they already get the good reviews and the sales, and then they can go to Steam and be like, oh, by the way, we have AI in our game. I think that's kind of the plan, but I don't know.
And consumer.
I don't know.
So what's the actual issue here? Why are we sitting here saying it's okay for one thing but not okay for the other?
That's so Epic Games stores are mid games. Damn.
And not providing customers and consumers with the proper information of what is in fact happening. And what's even funnier about this entire thing too is that I pulled up Matt Workman's Twitter account, and in fact his own header on his bio is literally him saying Steam should remove the Made with AI label, and his bio says
lobbyist. This is crazy.
Game dev turned AI lobbyist.
Yeah, this is crazy.
AI label from all platforms, especially Steam. Dispel the stigma of AI in game dev.
Oh,
when you want to talk
God.
about game slop like we saw with that dude Yusuf previously, this is what's going to enable game slop to be just pumped out consistently all over a platform and storefronts.
Yeah,
we've seen this happen on YouTube on a consistent basis.
I mean, it's still gonna happen.
We've seen this happen with basically everything where AI is in fact involved. People just trying to find every possible shortcut in either game development, content creation, or everything else to use AI and cut everything else out of the creative process and have that be the sole focus on how things get done. As someone
that's so stupid. That's really stupid.
Like myself, that uses AI as a tool in their live streams to enhance TTS, change my own voice, and use it as specific ways of having more engagement with the viewer. It's very different than trying to replace me as a streamer and content creator with AI completely. No, we're not going to pull a Quibble Cop here. But that's what I can clearly see. People that want that AI tag removed are the ones trying to benefit the most from trying to pump out AI garbage slop content and not give credit to those artists where the AI was scraping from before, like Tim Sweeney even said on his own. But I think the funnier part about this is the hole that Tim Sweeney put himself into, yet consistently trying to dig himself out. Bifumo on Twitter quote tweeted Tim Sweeney, ratioing him completely, saying this: "No, Tim, the customers deserve to know," with a picture of Gabe Newell. Tim Sweeney responds saying, "Why stop at AI use? We could have mandatory disclosures for what shampoo brand the developers uses. Customers deserve to know, LOL." And this is why I feel Tim Sweeney is an actual 100%.
Damn,
the
this
shampoo
guy.
the developer uses has no impact or implication as to what's happening in the game development of its own. However, though, the tools they use do. Because if I see a game studio of 3 or 4 people saying, hey, we used AI and here's where we used it on their disclosure on Steam, I'd be far more lenient on that game itself and possibly even check it out if it looks kind of cool, more so than I would be if a company, let's say like Ubisoft, used AI, or PlayStation, or Xbox,
well, it depends to what degree
corporations that can afford to pay those
Lino
specific artists
would not be proud of this.
to go through and hire them and provide proper art for their games and even development. See the difference? Benji Game Dev on Twitter quote tweeted Tim Sweeney as well, saying this heavily implies that Epic are now using AI coding tools for the latest updates to Unreal Engine. Therefore, according to Steam guidelines, any game built with Unreal Engine must declare the use of generative AI. Where Tim Sweeney responds saying, not true. Just hate to see Valve confiscate ever more opportunity from small developers by facilitating new categories, cancel campaigns, and review bombing. Steam used to just facilitate downloads. Then they foreclosed on payments. Then price competition. Then crypto. Now AI.
Damn, this guy is freaking mad. He is super mad.
And this is where I have seen Tim Sweeney say the most ridiculous things possible. He's still going, having this insane crash out about the entire thing.
Yeah.
You mean a company putting the customer and consumer first is a bad thing? Oh my goodness, who could have ever possibly imagined that in the first place?
I think this is the one I saw on Twitter as well.
Go ahead and use crypto and have every piece of money laundering possible happen in our entire player base. Yes, that's a horrible thing. Foreclose on payments? What the fuck are you even talking about, my boy?
Damn.
Price competition? Oh, you mean the fact that you actually have to work on your own storefront to provide proper usage of customers and consumers to go to your storefront in the first place, rather than just saying, oh, we're just going to drop everything down in price and force you guys here as well? That, what you're trying to do and try to talk about is market manipulation, Timbo. You're just mad that you're getting outplayed in your own gaming space. And the funny thing about all of that is you didn't, in fact, deny any use of generative AI inside of Unreal Engine 5. Which would kind of explain why UE5 games run like shit 90% of the fucking time. And even
what is going on here?
You're actually completely wrong. Because when you look at, again, Embark Studios with The Finals and even Arc Raiders, both those games did not have any sort of massive downvoting campaign.
That's true. But did they put it on the page?
Incredibly successful.
Wait, does it mean in this you have to put it in the description? Wait, where can I find those games? Wait. Was it Arc Raiders? I think this is popular right now as well. I think I saw some Holo people play it. Arc Raiders. Ah, there it is. Let's check it out. So, if I go on Arc Raiders. Where's the AI label? Wait, what? Ah, here. The developers describe how the games use AI content like this. Oh, so okay, that's how it works. So below the description, I thought you have, what I thought is like you have it in the category somewhere up here, you know, where people see it immediately, because that way people might be like, oh, this is AI, I will just skip this game. But if it's only there, I mean, it should be fine. Why is anyone having an issue with that? Just write a short text where you use AI, and then it's fine. Seriously, where's the issue? I don't know.
And both games,
like, I think it's fair. I mean, you just need to say where you used it, right? But then again, I don't know if AI still counts if it's not in the game anymore, you know? If you only used it for prototyping. But yeah, I don't know.
Use generative AI in their development. They were just clearly disclosed for the customer and consumer to make their own processes and ideas and purchases. It's kind of wild when you think about it, right? Give the customer the right information for your game and provide clarity, and then they can make the decision on whether or not they want to buy it. You, on the other hand, want to force the entire industry to do what you want to do.
That is true.
And that's the problem, Timbo. That's the real problem. AI is going to continue to be a hot button topic throughout
it's always going to be a hot topic
in the coming years. Even though we're going to see more games using AI in their development, I think it's always incredibly important to know what actually is going to be impacted by AI and what in fact was being used, especially if you have so many people on Steam and other places wanting to have that information for their own purchases of what they choose to buy. The thing is, though, this tweet specifically really encapsulates why everybody is concerned about AI in the first place. Stormfall on Twitter said this: nobody wants AI, but it will be forced down our throats anyways. They don't stop and question that it isn't wanted. The culture of games and art has been hijacked by gigacorps that don't care about.
What does she mean? I'm pretty confident that if people have the money, they will use real artists. Like, I don't see any point why you should not. Because, I mean, AI is it's generative, you know? You cannot create a completely new concept from AI, in my opinion. It's not possible. Like, you will always get things that to some degree were used somewhere else, because that's what AI is. It learns from things in the past and then tries to make something out of it. But you will not get something completely new, you know? And then also, it will look always different the next time you use it again. So, I don't know, man. I don't know.
About art and don't care about what you...
Unless I'm not up to date, I don't know. I'm close into my own AI bubble where I only use my own tools. Kind of, except for ChatGPT maybe. But yeah.
Want. The use of AI is nuanced. Did they use it to streamline optimization, or did they use it to replace real artists? They will use that undefined nuance as a shield to feed you AI-designed gameplay loops with AI-written stories designed to sell you AI skins for AI-created characters. Removing the disclosure will just cast a blindfold over the consumer's eyes, so billionaire
but this
Bill
is something
can up
that
his
is
stock
not
price.
fine for me. Like, if everything is designed by AI, then that's some other issue then. Like, this is something crazy.
Because
are there people like that? Probably they are.
Until it's slop.
Yeah,
And
but
Stormfall is 100% correct. People and customers should know exactly where AI was in fact being used. That way they can make that correct decision. And she's also correct in the sense that companies will do everything they possibly can to provide the most minimal amount of work to then provide the most maximum amount of return. We saw the AI used in Call of Duty, which shouldn't have been used, that AI in the first place.
Call of Duty?
Artwork for banners, which really is kind of insane to see. For a $4 trillion corporation like Microsoft to be okay with that and then get called out but not provide information really is a massive problem.
Really?
We're going to be seeing more companies try and use and obfuscate its
what the heck?
Usage of AI simply because it'll save them money. And again, there is in fact nuance to all of this. Where it's being used, how it's being used should be clearly conveyed to the actual customer and consumer before the purchase is even being made. That way they know and are ahead of the curve in saying, I choose not to participate, or it doesn't matter to me. And that's perfectly fine if somebody does want to participate in that because it's their money and they can choose to do so. However, though, they should be informed of why it's actually happening and what is inside that game in the first place. And I know AI is going to be coming for a lot of things in the future as well, especially not just in game development, but just in our entire life. The thing is, though, it's the insane usage of AI that is destroying a lot of the gaming industry. And no, I'm not being hyperbolic about that either. Recently, we saw NVIDIA basically tell all their board partners, hey, you're going to have to source your own VRAM because we're not going to give you any way.
Wasn't there someone else who was doing the same now? Was it Milcom? No, who was it? I forgot the name. But it was a crazy... Wait, no, it wasn't... Oh, was it RAM? I think it was RAM.
Wafers that have it on there in the first place. So, ta-da! Congrats! Now you got to deal with that problem yourselves. They're going to be giving their own RAM to actual OpenAI and other AI companies as well because they're paying top dollar for it. While we're seeing DRAM prices increase into the 200 to 300 percentile while going around and seeing massive increases for the customer and consumer because we just simply can't afford that kind of price. Seeing as how OpenAI and others are paying top dollar for RAM in general. And it's going to be happening to GPUs as well, which will then impact consoles, which will then impact everything else in the gaming industry and every other piece of electronic in the space in general for gaming overall. I can't wait to hear everybody say, step your game up, brokey. That 16 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM only costs you $250 when it should have been about $70. It really is so interesting and wild to see how people like Tim Sweeney are completely out of touch as to what people and consumers actually want and to understand from with their products in the gaming space. Going around and doing the exact opposite of what Valve and Steam does, trying to be the differentiator in the space, is doing nothing for them but providing them bad PR and not giving them the right sense of why people should in fact spend money on that storefront in general. And I guarantee you that at some point, that house of cards of Fortnite will in fact fall, and Unreal Engine will have nothing else to stand its legs on. They won't fix their engine, so we have stutters all over the place. They're going
We still have Unity, by the way, just saying.
Around supporting NFTs, crypto, and everything else possible that has been known to be a complete and actual scam by doing the opposite of what Valve is doing. And they've still continued to this day to not even fix their storefront, provide a better user experience, or even UI in general, and are still trying to lock away exclusivity for their content, which really doesn't do them
taking
any
a dump
favors,
on
as
them.
we've
It's
seen
crazy.
right now, that people just simply do not buy games on the Epic storefront. They wait for it to come onto Steam. So maybe Tim Sweeney, instead of trying to argue for AI and removing the actual notification of what customers should know, maybe you should take a page out of Valve's playbook instead. And I really
Maybe.
wish other companies would too as well, because right now it looks like that Valve is the only one defending you as a customer and consumer.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen,
But
I want to hear what you have to
it's
say about this in
fine.
the comments section
For now.
down below. Do you
To
disagree?
be fair, GOG is also really good, in my opinion, but there are not many people using it. But I think they are also a good platform. GOG, whatever. Wait, I can show you the name. GOG. These people. They are really nice as well. They also have some nice discounts sometimes.
Tim Sweeney, do you agree? I want to hear what you guys have to say. If you want to see more of this kind of content, though, more PC port reviews, gaming news, Steam Deck videos, fanboy content, and my hot takes in the gaming industry, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 98K. And if you want Discord access or most during live streams, become a YouTube member. It's as low as $1. If you don't want to spend the buck, don't sweat it. Just come on down Saturday nights at 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live right here on this channel, as I wear a banana suit and get insulted by 800 people with AITTS. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. With all that being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one.
This biggest scam just got worse. Oh no, not again. What is this? What the heck is this? Okay. I don't know what just happened, but it's okay. So yeah, this was the last video for today from Oh No, It's Alex. And yeah, as mentioned, we're gonna... I'm not trying not to talk so much now, since I kind of have to go, so because I have to travel tomorrow. I'm going to the Christmas market. Yeah, this means I will probably be a lot on Twitter while I'm on the train and respond to random things there. Yeah, that's probably what I will do. I will probably work up a little bit on projects on my laptop, and then afterwards I will, on the way back or something, when I'm flying back, I will be scrolling a little bit on Twitter, something like that. But yeah, day is long, so it will just be a few hours, maybe too many hours. There might be a spike actually. But yeah, if you wanna see Christmas markets, or me traveling, commenting things, shit posting, feel free to check by. And yeah, that's it for today. It was a nice meme day. The next stream is on Sunday, when we will play Spice and Wolf in VR. I kind of figured out how the VR things work. I hope everything will work as intended on Sunday. And if not, then I don't even know what I will do. I to be honest, I don't want to play Euroswag again. At least not right now. I wanna have a little bit of a break there. And yeah, I don't know what we will do if it doesn't work. Maybe we do a Satsu stream and we will talk about things. I don't know. But yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. And I see you again on Sunday or on the next meme day if you are only watching reactions. On Monday we are watching memes, or next week on Friday. Okay, that's it for today. Schedule is coming on Sunday evening as well. That's probably something I can do on the train as well. I can already make my schedule. Yeah. Okay. Otsurio. Bye bye.